very strange signal, Captain. Very strange.
On screen, on the main viewer.
Captain, what is on screen?
Wow. That is... What am I looking at? Talk about a strange signal. Man, look at that.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday night. I hope everyone had a great day. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Yeah, I'm enjoying mine. Kind of bored without the kid here, but it is what it is. Not sure how many people will show up, but that's okay. It's a Monday night. I need to get on a regular streaming schedule. That's what I need to do. How's everyone out there doing? Probably better things. Oh, there's Daniel. It says, hey, sci-fi 30 minutes away from Canada Day. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow's Canada Day. That's right. Well, happy early Canada Day, Daniel. And any of my other Canadian friends out there that listen to this. Yeah, I keep forgetting that's only like literally 3 days before the 4th. Got any big plans for Canada Day, Daniel? Hey, Suzanne. How you doing, girl? Good to see you. Suzanne says hello to Daniel. Yes. I've got my door shut, but the missus has her TV going, so let me know if it's bleeding through or not, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble for her TV shows bleeding through on the stream. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Looking forward to Canada Day.
Yeah, that's what Daniel said. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of like your 4th of July.
Okay, yeah. I was. That's what I was thinking. So you're gonna have like fireworks and cookouts.
We do fireworks and barbecues and parades and all kinds of stuff.
Awesome. Sounds like a fun time.
Some towns do little fairs,
Yep.
But it's always a good time to find bake sales and community centers doing their thing and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember if we do a parade for 4th of July or not? think-
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I've been living in the same apartment for 8 years, and that's how much I pay attention to downtown. So,
Oh Lord, I couldn't live in an apartment. Some people are
uh,
made for it, and others, not me. But I know
I'd
friends
rather,
of mine that have been in
I'd
apartments
rather,
for 20, 30 years.
I'd rather have a house with a little yard, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi,
Good.
Daniel.
How are you, buddy?
Only 30 minutes away from Canada Day.
Where the hell are you?
He's on
Bellwood?
Eastern
Bellwood,
time.
Ontario.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Eastern
okay. It's
Standard
9:30 for me.
yeah, it's like 11:35 for us.
Oh no, 9:30 for me. Saskatchewan's right in the middle of the country, so
Yep.
what's with that crazy shooter you guys got out there, man? What the hell?
Wait, which
Shooting
one?
firemen. The guy shot the fireman.
Oh, I don't know. I don't watch regular TV, and I haven't seen nothing pop up on YouTube. So,
Oh yeah. Started a fire, called firemen out, and then shot open house on firemen. And then the coward went and offed himself.
I think I did hear something about that. It was like a
Yeah.
30-second blurb somewhere.
It's about all he was worth. What a shit stain.
Yeah.
Oh well. World's crazy, man.
The world's better
And-
off without him if he's going to act like
And now
that.
Iran's gone off again. You know, it's craziness. The stuff we have going on now.
I'm surprised we didn't have fireworks going off this weekend, because usually people started about a week ahead of time with the fireworks and go for a week or two afterwards with them for the 4th. So,
Where we moved from, they banned fireworks, eh? Because people
I
get
didn't.
drinking and
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like in Michigan, like there are certain ones that are illegal in Michigan that you can go right across the state line and get. So,
oh, I'm guilty too. Back when I drank and we had fireworks, we play what called Roman candles. That's where you hold one and you point them at each other. You know what I mean, right?
yeah,
Where you
I
shoot
know.
the fireworks at, yeah. You shoot the
Yeah.
fireworks at each other.
Well, we got those.
Yeah, man, it's what we
They're
did.
called bottle rockets. We got those, but
Yeah.
I mean, like the ones that are banned in Michigan are like the M80s, the real big ones.
Oh,
And for purchase by the public. Now, obviously, we have licensed people that do the big fireworks, but
do the pyrotechnics, yeah.
yeah, pyrotechnics, yeah. But like you can go down to Illinois, right across the state line, and get those big old M80s, right, like
Wow.
inside gas stations and stuff. And yeah, but you can't get them in Michigan because of the Michigan laws.
Well, I know. Back in the day, can't do it now, but back in the day, we had people that would go to the States, get the fireworks there because they were insane
Oh
compared to what we got here, and bring them up here. Well, we can't do that anymore. Something
No,
about border crossings and shit. You know.
yeah. Well, heck, even going state to state, like this, the state cops in each state, if they see out of state tags around the 4th, they're going to be pulling you over to look for, especially in Michigan. Like if they see you coming back across the border, they're going to be pulling you over to check for illegal shit. They'll make up some excuse to pull you over. So.
Oh, craziness. So how's Daniel doing?
Good. It's
Good.
kind of warm today.
This is day 3, guys. Day 3 of no pain and good breathing. Can you freaking believe it?
Awesome.
I barely believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were feeling pretty good Saturday with not having
Yeah.
any pain. I'm glad you're still feeling good.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday so far. Knock on freaking wood. I can't tell you the last time I had 3 good days in a row.
That's
Well,
awesome.
that's a good thing. Yeah. Oh,
Well, sounds like you're in prime condition to have a heck of a Canada Day up there then.
I believe so. Yeah. Our little town will do something, I'm sure, because we're in the middle of the prairies. So, chances of a street festival thing in the town is probably good. Fireworks.
Yep. Get out of the house for a while and go celebrate. Yeah.
I think even the bar has a barbecue thing on. It was
Oh,
$25
nice.
a plate. Yeah.
Oh, you can't beat that.
$25 a plate. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Per plate or for all you can eat?
It's per plate.
Oh, okay.
It's, I think, $10 for kids up to age 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So then my boy would have to pay 25, right? But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. They might charge him double. You never know.
You never know. You imagine that see that boy come through a all-you-can-eat buffet?
Oh, jeez. He's all you can eat buffet's worst nightmare.
Yes and no. It would have to be something he eats. With the autism, he only eats certain things. Like
Right.
you'll never catch this kid eating mac and cheese ever.
Really?
Never.
Wow.
You're never going to catch peanut butter near this child. Nope. Cheese whiz, nothing like that.
Huh. That's, well, yeah, I mean, I can see it with the autism. But my daughter was the opposite. She liked everything, including lima beans. She like had me specifically made sure I would get lima beans every time I went shopping when she was a kid.
Yeah, this one's a weirdo on beans. He likes canned green beans. Oh. I don't know why. He just does. And he takes them and he puts them in a pan with garlic and onions and pepper and whatever else. He fries them up like that.
I do that with spinach sometimes. That's real good.
And then he cuts up a small potato and he fries that up in it too.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Yuck. I guess I like fresh vegetables. I don't know.
I used to buy canned veggies all the time. I mean, I do keep certain canned veggies, but like most of the veggies I get are frozen. So
Right.
that way it's like as close to coming out of the garden as you can get, I guess.
I guess. I had those you've seen those stand-up deep freezers that are just a bit bigger than a fridge?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
Well, I had 2 of those when I moved here. And the place isn't big enough for 2. And it's just the 2 of us now versus the 7 of us, right?
Yep.
So I sold one and I still have the one here. But yeah, it's still pretty full.
I
It's been
imagine
pretty full
so.
for 4 years. So he's going through it slowly on me.
Well, you got yourself a little garden out there, don't you? Or
Well, he hasn't cut the grass all year yet. I'm afraid to see what it looks like.
oh,
Yeah. No, he's done nothing. He didn't do any yard work at all this year. I planted an apple tree when we first moved here and 6 grapevines and roses, and who knows if any of it's grown. I haven't been out there to see it because I can't get out there. So
well, the apple tree might have. Those are pretty hardy.
I'll check
The
it tomorrow, see what happens.
Well, the roses though, those tend to need. Yeah, you got to take care of those every spring and fall. So I'm not sure. I mean, they might have went wild. They might have went wild. You never know. But.
Yeah, you never know. Where I live, you never know. But so, what was on your agenda for the day, gentlemen?
Oh, I'm just chilling out for the night. It's I'm on her schedule now. The kid's gone for at least 2 weeks to Pennsylvania with his grandma and grandpa. So getting to meet
How's
all of
Nikki?
his. She's good. Her and the dogs really miss Brandon, and I guess I kind of do too. But he's never been
Oh,
away from home before, so
well, he's still just a little, right?
no, he's 13 now, but he's never
Yeah.
really like even stayed the night across town even. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, but Grandma said he's having a blast,
Good.
so that's good.
Well, he's
Hey,
how old
Matt,
now?
he's 13.
Oh, good. Hi, Matt.
Hey
But
guys,
I tell you what, he's 13, but he's probably barely the size of one of your boys' legs.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. I got a big kid. I'm barely the size of one of his legs.
Although he is getting tall, he's starting to get tall, but
how
he's still
tall is he?
well. I'm 6 foot, and he comes up to, I would say, the top of his head probably comes up to about the top of my chest. So he's growing. I mean, he's not big for his age, but he's not
8.
a midget either, right? So
Yeah, my boy was that size at fucking 8.
yeah, I believe it.
Uh, I'm 5'2" if I'm lucky, right? So
Yeah.
here's my 6'4" looking at me. He still knows. He still knows to jump when I say jump, though.
Oh yeah, yep. That's how you know you got a good boy right there.
I get up to
Have you
move,
had a
man.
chance to install your RAM?
No, not yet,
What's that?
Matthew. Matthew bought me some new RAM for the laptop.
Oh,
I'm gonna do that probably this week, Matthew. Now that the kid's gone on vacation and it's just me and Nikki here, I can do it while she's sleeping.
That sounds great. Hopefully, you'll just have to deal with that computer for like 2 to 3 months until I can afford to get a nice workstation laptop for you.
oh wow, lucky you.
Well, that's nice, Matthew. But I always tell you, don't ever put yourself out. Make sure you take care of yourself first, buddy.
Right.
That's obviously
Matthew has been awesome to me. He's just one of the greatest people I know, and
awesome.
yeah.
I need to get a computer. I use my phone. I'll talk to you guys on. This is my little cell phone.
Well,
Everything is on my cell phone.
I'll tell you, Suzanne. This laptop is only like a year old, maybe 2 years old, if that. But if Matthew winds up sending me that other one, like he says, then I can send you this laptop.
Oh Lord. Don't even say that. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Does your laptop have a SIM card in it?
No, it's just a regular laptop, bud. It runs on Wi-Fi.
Who else is here? Is
This
that
is
Mikey?
Yep. Hey, Mikey.
No. Hey, hi guys.
I'd probably send you a
Miss-
nice workstation laptop, a Z-Book from HP with a SIM card in it. That way you don't have to worry about Wi-Fi or anything.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi, Mikey. How's my other half doing over there? Is she fine?
Yeah, she's doing great actually. Yeah, she's doing really well right now. She's
Hello.
working on her own way of computer over there, and I'm just kind of drifting. Oh, there's Gorilla. Hey, Gorilla, why don't you
Hey.
bring your silverback up here?
Yeah, I got the link pinned
The
at the
link
top.
the link is in the chat. Come on up, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah,
I will
tomorrow we have.
absolutely.
Of course, you're invited, Suzanne. Tomorrow we have a very special live stream at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Jay, for our brother Larry. He's got a very important heart surgery he's going through tomorrow. So
Oh, I seen he did a 8-minute video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
And my
okay,
prayers
yeah,
are
I
there.
gotta watch it myself, but yes, yeah, he's
I didn't
yeah,
need to know that, Gorilla. Just make sure your camera's off. You'll be all right.
you don't want to know where I'm at right now, Gorilla.
I'm almost there.
That's the thing, Gorilla. You don't have to turn on the camera, okay? Yeah, leave the camera off, okay? Just talk through this thing, okay? Yeah, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to have a positive attitude about because Jay knows this already. I've known Larry for a very long time, and he's gone through so much. I mean, in the past, oh my God! I mean, he's lost his mom. He's got all these terrible medical issues. He had a heart attack. Like my dad did some more. He's got a heart stent, all this stuff. I mean, I couldn't bear it. If I had gone through any of this myself, I would have lost it. So to commend him,
I know you're a man of prayer.
Yes,
So
I
I know your prayers are with him, as are mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he's going to be
I
fine.
just found out. What's ironic is earlier today when I did my normal review of Red Dwarf. We're into season 10 right now. We're almost done with it. Only 4 more seasons to go, and they're very short seasons. They don't have more than like 6 episodes a season.
They're only like 30-minute shows, aren't they?
Oh yeah, they're very just quick shows. Yeah. Definitely. But what I was going to say was, one of my friends is Anchorman Scott, and he just told me while I was doing my review, he told me his dad was in a hospital.
Here, I'll put a shirt on for you guys. I'm not putting any.
Oh,
pants
you
on.
got a shirt. Okay.
Hey,
Well, it's good to see you, Gorilla.
really, you're so hairy we wouldn't notice anyway.
Oh, all that shit might be gone this weekend.
What?
Well, I gotta look presentable when Kayla gets here in August. So I gotta
That's right.
I'm
She's
gonna
coming
shave
to
all this
visit
off
you.
and let her grow.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
excited for you both, guys. Yeah. I was gonna say, Gorilla, I'm very excited for both you guys that you're gonna meet Kayla. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Yeah. Which means you're gonna have to clean the whole house up and down, right?
I'm slowly working on it.
Okay. All right. Well, you got till August, right? So you have like a full month, and so ahead of you. So yeah.
I think this is the first time I've been on a panel with all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the first time Gorilla's been up here, I think. So welcome, Gorilla.
What have you done, Jay?
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the prologue to get uploaded, which YouTube's being a pain in the ass tonight with it. I might just say screw it and do them live. Because it shouldn't take well over an hour to upload for a 16-minute video.
No, 20, 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
And that's if it's being slow. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless it's having a problem with, because I know it has to go through copyright checks and all that. Supposedly, it checks for him, even though they can come back and say he still did something wrong. But
Yeah.
I know, because Warner Brothers has been waiting 3 days before they hit me with the copyright claim on the Waltons there. Or, then take down the video.
Oh, man. Why do they give you such a hard time, Gorilla? It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, the Waltons was a simple show. And all we do is
Because I tend to play, well, right now their bots are doing wide sweeps. I don't understand it. And like 80% of what they claim is our own commentary.
Yeah, but we don't see anything different than what we've already said, like on previous Friday streams. So what are we saying that's pissing them off? I don't know.
No, the bots are just doing wide sweeps now instead of targeted claims.
What's
Hey
up, Matt?
Jay,
Yeah, what's up?
who's your cell phone carrier?
Oh, I use Boost.
Oh damn!
Verizon.
I mean, I can send you a laptop with an eSIM in it.
No, I don't need one with the SIM card, buddy. No, that would just be more of a pain in the butt than.
Well, it would be easier on you. You wouldn't have to use internet.
I already pay for my internet, so it's just going off with a router I've already got in my apartment. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah, Matthew. We also pay for. Well, we have two different carriers. We have Lucky that takes care of our internet, and we have Virgin Mobile, which takes care of our phone. And Virgin allows us to, dial into the United States or around the world actually for free. So long distance is free wherever we go, and it's all tied in. So we just all we have is like
Virgin Mobile is owned by Richard Branson, right?
Well, they got rid of it in the U.S. That's why I had to switch to Boost. Virgin sold all their U.S. Cell towers.
Because it went up in flames once Epstein came to light.
Yep, that's why I had to switch phone carriers. I was with Virgin for the longest time, and they said we're selling out to Boost, and no, you can't transfer your number. I'm like, well, some bitch. So I had to go to Boost, get a new number.
Hey, Daniel, good to see you. I wanted to ask you, did you hear some fireworks your end tonight?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah, for Canada Day? Yeah.
Yeah.
We did too. Yeah. Oh, not yet? Okay. We did, though. We heard some.
Happy. Well, about 4 minutes until Canada Day for Daniel and Mikey. Suzanne's a couple hours behind, but I just want to say Happy Canada Day to you guys.
Oh,
yeah, eventually when I get my laptop, I'm also getting a desktop workstation too. Two birds, one stone.
There you go.
Everything for Hewlett Packard too.
Oh, I definitely like.
Yeah. I'll sing the American version of the Canadian national anthem for you guys. Blame Canada, blame Canada, blame Canada.
Wow, I'm suddenly reminded of South Park.
Well,
exactly.
Do you remember Robin Williams saying?
Do y'all ever watch the Poland Ball comics?
Oh God.
The what, Matthew?
What?
It's called Poland Ball Comics on YouTube, and he make the joke about Canada and America marrying each other once, and Canada said to America, "We're brothers, you idiot." The joke is, it is well known Canada and America are technically brothers from the same father.
Well, but not the same mother.
No.
Just don't say that to Quebec.
Yeah, don't say that. those people have been trying to distance themselves from the rest of Canada for centuries.
I'd be quite happy if they just fell off of Canada.
Yeah, they could be their own little nation state over there. I mean, that's absolutely. What they've been. I mean, I live in Michigan, but that's all I've been hearing for like the last 10, 15 years is how bad they just want to go off and be by themselves, right? So.
You know what, Jay? They've been screaming it for decades. Screaming it. They want their independence, blah, 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 blah. But you know the first one on that government teat? Taking the money from the government and all the taxpayers? Freaking Quebec.
Yep.
They suck it dry. Yeah, no, I'm with Alberta, man. I want out of here. Alberta wants to go. Saskatchewan wants to go with them. From Ontario over can just fall off the planet. Sorry, Mikey. Time to move.
Hey, no worries.
Yeah, you can name it the United Provinces of Canada.
A lot of Canadians want to join the U.S., or is it the other way around?
Hey, you know what? If it wasn't for half the douchebags in Michigan, I'd say tell Canada to take Michigan. But, you know.
I'm curious how we'd be able to take your peninsula, Jay.
or at least take the UP. At least take the UP. I'll make sure I get across the bridge before everything's finalized.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then we'll take possession of the bridge then. We'll
There
have
you
a
go.
guard, Canadian guard there or some shit. Yeah.
Mikey.
Yes.
In the middle of Canada, all the way to the west, wants to join the U.S. From
Really? Wow.
Manitoba over, you guys can do your own thing.
So how does that work, Susie? If you have half of maybe a quarter of Canada wants to become U.S. So how does that work? I mean, does that like radically change? Obviously, it radically changes the whole concept of a border. So then, how do you? Man, that's going to be screwed up if that happens.
Actually, it'll be nice. I won't have to show a passport to drive to Alaska if that happens.
Yeah, that's true then. Yeah. And I've been to Alaska. It's beautiful.
Of course, that means we're going to have our Senate's going to grow. Our House of Representatives will grow because, you have to have 2 senators for each state, or in your case, provinces, which would be big ass states, bigger than Texas and California. Yeah.
That's the other question is how would you turn a province into a state? There'd have to be some kind of vote on it, don't you think?
There'd have to be referendums and everything else, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape.
Makes sense of this for me. Why the hell did we just buy Greenland?
Oh, you guys bought it and Trump wanted to conquer it? Go figure.
He wanted Greenland, but I don't think he's taken it yet, right? Because Denmark's got some issue with that.
Yeah, they do. A big issue.
Yeah, I mean the Danish. They don't mess around. I mean, they have some kind of force. I'm imagining, but
Well, what more like
they have a pretty small navy, the Danish.
Yeah,
it's smaller than Germany's and smaller than Germany and the UK combined.
Well, that's
all that they need to do is Greenland needs to declare their independence from Denmark, and then we just offer to pay Greenland so many billions of dollars for Greenland. They can disperse that money amongst the populace.
Yeah, let's pay for a big old ice sheet.
No. Greenland would be a great purchase because it's opening up a new trade route up that way that we would control, and it has a lot of resources.
Dude, we already patrol it. There would be no difference there.
No, we would control it, not patrol it.
Oh.
We'd have.
Oh, you mean
ports up there?
All right, you mean sovereign control and not just under NATO? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's one for you guys, because of Trump, right? Now, I love Trump. I don't know if any Canadians do, but I do. This is one Canadian that loves Donald Trump. Okay. That being said, Iran has gone off the deep end again, escalating things again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Trump is going to do about that? What do you think he can do?
I'd like to know what he's going to do about Israel lying about Iran sending missile attacks and doing what they did.
Yeah.
I'm with Israel, lad. Sorry.
Well, I understand you got family over there from.
I know Japan. China and Russia have basically abandoned their ally Iran because they pulled out the IAEA agreement.
No, Iran didn't pull out of it.
Yes, they did.
No, Trump pulled us out of that agreement. That wasn't Iran that pulled out. That was us that pulled out.
Oh.
Yeah,
actually, Iran did too, dude. If you watch BBC World News like I do, they actually had a segment on today, and it said Iran's national parliament has voted to suspend the IAEA treaty permanently.
Well, yeah, after we pulled out, what, last year or year before, whenever Trump pulled us out of it, I can't remember when he did, first term or this term, but he pulled us out of that treaty. So, yeah, and then Trump goes and sends B-2 bombers over there, does minimal damage, claiming he destroyed everything. He barely scratched the surface on that. Yeah, no wonder they're pulling out of the treaty that we are already pulled out of. I mean, it's you do the same thing in the same circumstances. So,
Well, did you just finish the stream?
do what?
Did you just finish the stream?
No, I'm still live. What?
No, Gorilla.
No,
Oh, Gorilla.
I'm I finally got it chapter prologue up. Uploaded. I'm working on chapter 1 now.
You're wrong. Hey, Jay, you're wrong. I just looked it up on the U.S. State Department website. We did not leave the JCPOA or IAEA.
No, but there was a treaty that we had with Iran.
The Iran nuclear deal is what we pulled out of.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a nuclear agreement, Matthew, and it expired like, what was it, last year, guys? Something like that.
Yeah, but we pulled out of it way before the expiration.
There was a certain amount of time frame that was set to it, Matt, and it's over. So, hey, if Trump is brave enough or stupid enough, either way, to nuke Iran out of existence, he will. I don't believe that he will hesitate at all on that score. However, that being said, China and Russia, even though they're not supporting Iran currently for what's happening, could always pull a double take and step back in. So therein lies the problem. that's what we think.
Because of the attack, Iran has officially suspended the
International Atomic Energy Commission. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, because they're falsely reporting. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but was one of the reasons that the United States pulled out of it is because Iran was falsely reporting the progress of, let's say, the uranium deposits, or what was it?
No, Mikey. What happened with that was we had UN inspectors and the International Atomic Energy Commission was sending their own people in there that were unbiased, by what the U.S. wanted. and they were reporting that Iran was doing everything they were supposed to under that deal.
You mean that they were adhering to the standards?
Yes, they were adhering to the standards of the Iran nuclear deal. But for some reason, Trump wanted to pull out of it just because he's Trump. I don't know. What other reason does he have? I mean,
you know what? Trump is like he's like a paradox. He is really hard to read.
Guys, look what I put in the stream chat.
Uh-oh.
Okay, in the private chat?
Oh, private chat. Okay.
Okay.
Parliament of Iran voted for a halt to collaboration with the International Atomic Energy Association, I guess, until the safety
agency. It's agency.
Yeah, we know. Same
security
thing.
of our nuclear activities can be guaranteed. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas. Yeah, I can't even say that. Wrote in a post on Twitter. Okay.
It's Arachi.
Arachi.
It's Abbas Arachi. He wrote it in a post on social platform X.
Until we bombed Iran, they were still cooperating with the the inspectors of the IAEA officially.
Yeah, I know they were.
Yeah, they were still adhering, but someone, I don't know, someone either within the government or someone in the course of the negotiations with the treaty said that they were actually processing in Iran way too much as far as the uranium 235 that they use for bombs. So, and nobody was monitoring that. Nobody was, according to sources, so.
Well, for civilian use, you only need like 3 to 5% enrichment, but for weapons grade, you need 90%, and they were at 60.
Yeah, which is what is well, from one's point of view, is that like supposed to be? See, I know nothing about as far as like the process. Well, I know some of the process, but not like all of it of how it's supposed to go. So, would 60% be?
That'd be like
high, or would that be quite low?
That'd definitely be a dirty bomb. I mean, heck, 10%'s a dirty bomb. But I guess if you're talking about on scale of destruction, it'd be like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right?
Oh yeah,
well, 60% enough to eradicate or to radiate like New York.
Right. So you're still talking a city killer, but it's not on the order of magnitude of what the U.S. and Russia have as far as thermonuclears and all that.
And Russia, and especially Russia nowadays, everyone's saying the corruption is so bad in there. Their nuclear is just a bluff now because they've taken most of their heavy fuel from their nuclear weapons to the other missiles they use against Ukraine.
Yeah, but Matthew, most of the at one time Ukraine was a holder of many of the materials necessary for nuclear production.
Absolutely. And you can't tell me Chernobyl wasn't what we call breeder reactors, where they breed.
No. And what the problem I think is, Matthew, is this is what I see. Putin is really got two choices. He either wants to go ahead and try to obtain Ukraine through force, because he can show off his armed forces, say, hey, look, I can run my armed forces into your country and wipe out everyone with my armed forces alone. Or he could negotiate some kind of compromise, considering that there is nuclear fissure materials there, which Ukraine has, but Russia doesn't. And
unfortunately, that won't happen because the U.S. signed a minerals deal that includes the uranium inside Ukraine being sold to the U.S. So basically, Ukraine is now a de facto state of the U.S. because with that minerals deal, it guarantees U.S. servicemen protection.
Matthew, there's only one problem with that.
Yeah.
Cuba used to be a de facto state of the U.S. too until Castro took over. So,
right.
And why would Trump
still
counter for uranium?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Susie.
It was a to get it corrected, was legally slated as an unincorporated territory, not a state or incorporated territory. Cuba, just like
Cuba. What happened with Cuba was all of these billionaire sugar plantation owners that had property down in Cuba lost all of their holdings because when Castro came to power, he nationalized everything, right?
Okay.
The Iranian Saul tried to do that, and the U.S. and UK overthrew him.
Don't even get me started on Iran, because Iran had a democratically elected government, until guess what country overthrew that democratically elected government? The U.S. And we put the Shah of Iran in power.
Yep.
So you know what? I don't want to hear that BS about Iran bad, Iran the boogeyman. No, we're the ones that put that regime in power in the first freaking place.
Why
over
wouldn't the U.S.
over the will
Canada
of its
for
own
the
people?
Okay, guys, in the private chat, I just brought in some current information on who's running Cuba right now, and his name is Miguel Diaz-Canel. He is the first non-Castro leader since he took over from Raul, who is Fidel's son,
Yeah,
in 2018. Right. So he right now is, like I said, he's the first non-Castro leader to rule Cuba since 1958, and he's the first non-Castro head of state since 1976. So there you go. So Cuba's got its own. Finally, I think it's got its own democracy of some kind and independence. So I would think they would want to be a patriot, of the United States, or at least a friend to the United States.
Well, the Cuban people themselves are very amenable to the U.S. It's just been, Castro and
Right.
his regime, which I mean, given the circumstances back then, American tycoons buying up all the land and everything. Yeah, it's no wonder the people got pissed off, and you created people like Castro and had that happen, right? So
yeah. Yeah, that's a good question, Susie. Yeah, why wouldn't they come to Canada for uranium? Because yes, there are parts of Canada that are highly rich in uranium ore.
Oh, plus Canada, you guys have enrichment facilities up there already as it is. So I mean,
I know we have one in here in Toronto. I won't say where it is though, in case enemies are listening. But I know where it is.
Already know where it's at.
Happy Canada!
Happy Canada Day!
Yep. Happy Canada Day to my my Canadian friends out there. Yes.
Oh yes, Canada Day.
Yeah. Holy crap! I did not know Raul Castro was that old. He's 94 years old.
Oh yeah, he was an old man.
Well, you got to remember, Fidel was in his 30s back in the 50s when he took over Cuba. So yeah, it's
revolution. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because my dad, it's weird. I was born less than 2 years after JFK got offed. And as I was growing up, going through history classes, I would always ask things because, my dad didn't really, he didn't want to get political, but at the same time, he would tell me, well, yeah, there's this guy that runs, Cuba. His name's Fidel Castro. He's a fanatical leader, and he keeps Cuba under a tight leash. The Russians tried to do the Cuban Missile Crisis by bringing missiles there because they were pissed off that the United States had put some over in Turkey.
You know where the Soviets fucked up? When they tried to use diesel electric subs to run the blockade instead of nuclear subs.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they're easily,
and here's the scary part.
Easily more detectable, right, Jay? Because you could a diesel sub. Oh shit! I can blow that thing up. Hey, no problem.
Those are so quiet. I mean, even compared to nuclear subs, I mean, they're so quiet.
Actually, the quietest diesel electric sub out there.
Yeah, they're called air independent AIPs, air independent propulsion. They can stay submerged. They're diesel electric with air independent propulsion. They can stay submerged for up to at least 2 weeks at a time.
Back in 2015, when the U.S. did a war game with NATO, Sweden actually got 2 simulated hits on the Carl Vincent.
Yep, and guess what they were using? Air independent propulsion diesel electric submarines.
Right.
Almost wholly undetectable.
Yep.
But I don't think even the Russians, Chinese, or North Koreans use AIP subs
And
that are diesel electric.
you know who pioneered that? It was actually Germany. And
Germany was at least 40 years ahead of everyone else.
Yes, they were, because that's what the Type 21 submarine was at the end of World War II.
Didn't we take that?
Yes, well, we did, and Russia did. Russia actually based their Kilo class submarines off of it, and we based our Guppy class submarines off of it. So, yeah.
There's one situation that we need to address also is the fact that over in the South China Sea, both China and the United States are still doing their war games and things.
We're swinging our cocks at each other over there is what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's over Taiwan mostly too, because Taiwan is still a protectorate of the United States.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason we're interested in Taiwan is because they make like 87% of the world's microchips.
That's true, Gorilla. But guess who makes more than they do? Silicon Valley, California.
No, 87% of the world's microchips are made in Taiwan.
And after
Silicon Valley had more.
No, Silicon Valley used to. The only thing that comes out of there now are ideas.
So that was a outdated Bond reference. Okay.
Yeah, very
it'll kill.
Because China's number 2 after Taiwan, then the U.S., I believe.
Yeah, right. We lost Matthew.
Yeah, he's on his phone. He'll do that. He'll drop out and back in.
Yeah, that's hard. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Daniel. So happy Canada Day to all Canadians, and in 3 days, happy July 4th Independence Day to all Americans. So.
Absolutely.
And in a couple days there to our British friends, happy Treason Day.
That's true.
From us ungrateful colonists.
I was watching. There's a guy on YouTube called Beard Meets.
Welcome back, Matthew.
Called Beard Meets Food, and he was doing what? He was doing a challenge, and he was here in the U.S. and he cracked it. And he cracked a joke, and he said, maybe we ought to just recolonize it."
Oh yeah, the beard guy. Oh yeah. Man, he's
well, I seen one there that that a gorilla versus 100 men thing there. Someone said, "What about 100 Americans versus 100 British?" I was like, "Didn't we settle this like 200 some years ago?"
Like a long time ago, actually.
Well, actually, we settled it twice: the Revolutionary War and the War of 1812. So
that's true, twice. Well, unless you want to be real technical, and you could have the French and Indian War before the Revolution.
No, but that was in America at the time.
But it still involves early settlers and stuff. So.
Yeah, it was a British colony, but the French thought they could come in, and then they went to war with the Indians instead of the British, which was kind of funny. But hey,
the French and British have always hated each other.
That's common knowledge.
It goes back to the time of the Romans, actually.
I mean, actually, that's because. Little known.
Everyone.
It's a fact, but not many people know this. The French supported a union in the Civil War, so.
Yeah.
So did the British.
Well,
the British are wanting.
Actually, no. The British back during the Civil War were getting all of their cotton from the South. So
but their parliament did vote to decide to stay neutral with the war.
Yep. I don't think France entered officially either, but they were helping the Union.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, Britain was not helping the South. Eventually, once the U.S. blockaded the South, Britain did not even bat an eye because they could get cotton from their other colonies.
Yeah,
so they decided to leave the South
you're right.
flounder.
You're right, Matthew. took them longer and it cost them more, but they said it's
Yeah.
probably a better alternative than trying to mess in somebody else's civil war. So.
Yeah. However, remember they had Matthew. Remember they had somebody outside of the sphere of the United States. There was across other different lands where the South. They were having the early form of those.
Did you know the only
Armada?
kingdom in Asia that managed to escape colonialism?
Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, Lemon Pie, how you doing? Good to see you.
Do you
chat.
know the name of the
Hey,
country?
Hey, Lemon.
Derby.
Read the chat, Jay.
Yeah,
I'll check.
I am. I put it in the main chat for everybody. Susie in a private chat said, any of you Americans on the panel, tell me who you all think Christopher Columbus was a good guy. He didn't even discover America. He discovered the West Indies, right? So
Yeah, he discovered the Bahamas and well, actually, no. If you want to be technical, he actually discovered what is now the Dominican Republic,
right,
Haiti, in that area. So he never even came close. Okay?
No, he never even came close to discovering America. So.
Yeah,
Mikey, you're wrong. He did discover the West Indies. The son of a bitch murdered and scattered 8,000 West Indians.
It's all part of the same. Yeah, but Susie, it is all part of the same island chain. So if you do say West Indies, that's like Haiti, Dominican Republic, all of like everything that's in that
my family's West Indian
area. Barbados too. I mean, like all of that. So,
that's right.
Hi, Kevin. How you doing, bud? Good to see you.
Hey, Kevin.
My family's from the Caribbean, Mikey. So that's why I said, why is he such a good guy? He murdered 8,000 Indians in a single day.
Sure.
So we don't celebrate Columbus Day.
And I don't doubt that at all, Sue. So I was just saying, remember back in the day, way back, I should say, Suzanne had said the Vikings did find, but that was that way eastern part of Canada was Newfoundland. They had found all of that, but still that's considered, if you include Canada as North America, then technically the Vikings were first. So they came first. If you
answer, hey guys, answer.
Well, his phone dropped out again.
Oh no.
Yeah, hey Kevin, how you doing? I'm doing good, buddy. But before Matthew dropped out, he had a question in a private chat. He asked, what was the only Southeast Asian kingdom that survived colonialism without being colonized?
What was the only Southeast Asian?
That'd probably be probably Malaysia.
Was it Malaysia?
Or was it the Philippines?
No, the Philippines were under Spanish, and then they became American.
Yeah, no, the Philippines were under Spanish rule. Yeah,
I know. I had to throw that in there because of MacArthur's famous quote.
It wasn't Myanmar, was it?
Myanmar. Oh, now there's a name.
Or
it's not even called that. Myanmar is not even called Myanmar anymore, is it?
Oh, we lost Susie. Oh shoot.
Susie. Yeah, Susie dropped out.
Oh, there's Matt again.
Lemon Pie is Thailand.
Thailand.
Yep, that is right.
Good
Not
job.
many people know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
You know why? All the major European powers signed treaties with Thailand to keep them neutral and independent.
Right. And you know where those were signed in? Right there in Bangkok. I knew that. Yeah,
I know why Gorilla laughed and it made me laugh.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah. It was the capital of Thailand in Bangkok where they signed these mutual agreements. Yeah, they've never been colonized.
Back
or anything.
Then,
it wasn't known as Thailand, though. It was known as the Kingdom of Siam.
That's right. They were, the Kingdom of Siam. S-I-A-M.
So wait a minute. What country used to be called Burma then?
Oh,
Burma.
Oh shoot. It's
still around. But I had a buddy there in Thailand.
Yeah.
And
I think it was Myanmar.
I have a buddy there in Thailand, Yeah, he's right there in the capital, Bangkok. There, I'll never forget his face there when he came out crying, yelling, "It's a boy!" Yeah, last time we visited a brothel there.
Wow. Well, my dad's best friend, he was one of the godparents to me. Actually ran a nudie bar down in Manila in the Philippines.
Gorilla in Manila.
In Manila, yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go to bed though, guys. We'll see ya.
Okay,
All
Gorilla.
right,
Thanks,
well,
thanks,
we'll
for,
see you tomorrow for your
thanks.
cigar lounge.
Yep.
Come join
see
us
ya.
when you're ready, okay?
It was
Yeah.
the Federation of Myanmar. That was Burma.
That was Burma. Okay. Myanmar, right. I know because I have one friend in Myanmar, and they coincide. It's weird. The country itself has at least three main languages. They can speak in Burmese, or they can speak in French, or they can speak in
Because
Thai.
they were part of Indochina. That's why.
Yes. Oh, and Chinese, right? Yeah.
Yes. Good night to Gorilla, and thanks for being up here, buddy. You're always welcome.
Officially,
You're always welcome up here.
Myanmar is the Republic of the Union of Myanmar.
Right. Yeah. So appreciate both Suzanne and Gorilla for being here, and I hope to see all of you guys at least. Well, just come on by, just say hello, and offer
What time?
your.
You said
Yes.
3. You said 3:30,
Yeah, 3:30
Mikey.
p.m. Eastern. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be wow. That's actually 15 hours from now.
Yeah. How about that?
I'm looking at my time, and it's 12. It's just after 12:30 a.m. here Tuesday morning, and yeah.
And you don't
15
even
hours.
sound.
The
You don't-
Central Asian country that managed to escape colonialism.
Yeah.
And it's famous for its ancient site of Angkor Wat.
Yeah, that's Cambodia.
Yep.
Mhm.
There are only two kingdoms that escaped colonialism in Asia. That would be the kingdom of Siam and the kingdom of Cambodia.
Mhm.
Because for Cambodia, the jungle was too dense.
Yeah.
So neither the British, French, Dutch, Portuguese, no one tried.
Well, you know who did bomb them, even though we refused to acknowledge it.
The U.S.
Yep.
during wasn't that during Nam?
This is yeah. Not. I
Yeah.
don't think Larry would. I don't think Larry would actually be on right now because, for what I understand, he had to go through a bunch of procedures today. Pre surgery, he had to go through some blood work and other things he was doing. So if he's smart, I hope he's asleep right now, trying to get a lot of rest before tomorrow. So, yeah. What I found out is he goes in at 10, just after 10:30. He told me he's right now. He's like 3 hours behind me. So when
There was
when my
another
thing starts, yeah, when
Asian nation that escaped colonialism. That was Bhutan.
oh, Bhutan, I heard them. Yeah,
Kingdom of Bhutan and the Empire of not China, but Tibet.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. That was before China took over Tibet with their little Sino-Russian war. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. No problem, Suzanne. Thanks for being on, girl. Always love to have you on.
Yeah, you're always welcome here, Suzanne.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Daniel, what do you think about? We haven't heard from you in a while, my friend.
Yeah.
What do you think about all the Well, basically the world situation. What do you think about what's going on?
Oh, I hope it'll get better. I mean, I don't know. I'm genuinely scared of people now because I've people are crazy everywhere you go now. Worse, more and more people are crazy.
Crazy.
They're unstable.
Yeah,
They're
would that be
mentally-
true of your situation, Jay or Matthew? Or I know we meet crazy people all the time. We had some guy just a few minutes ago yelling in the halls, and both of them and I know who he is.
Well, to
Drunk off his
me,
ass. Yeah.
Mikey, crazy is subjective, right? I can act like a total wild-eyed, freaking crazy batshit. You know, if I don't know you, yeah, I mean, I walk around downtown with resting asshole face just 'cause I don't want people to come up to me, right? So,
Yeah, right.
Until I get to where I'm going, I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, would you just not invade my private space, please?
Yes,
Because
exactly.
my
And then
shit
I got to
done.
walk around all these idiots
right?
staring down at their phones. It's like, do you know how easy it'd be to trip you and make you break your nose on the sidewalk? Oh my
man.
fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I hope these morons are smart enough not to use like nuclear weapons on each other. I mean, you can do whatever you want to each other. You can do it the old-fashioned way, but just don't use nukes. Isn't there a law? Isn't there a law? There should be a law saying that.
I bet they said that in 1963 also.
There have been a lot of nuclear. Well, how many since 19? Okay, basically since the Cold War started. How many total nuclear treaties have been established?
Oh, there's too many to count. I mean, you got the Nuclear Arms Reduction Act that was back in the 80s between Reagan and Gorbachev, right?
Right.
So,
there was that SALT treaty, right? There was that.
yeah.
Then you had the Star Wars thing, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many of them there.
The Star Wars treaty, doesn't that prevent weaponized space?
You know why the U.S. got into that? Because the U.S. said, hey, if we can make Russia think that we're building nukes in outer space, they're going to try to build them and bankrupt themselves. Guess what happened?
They did.
Are you telling me we have Russian nukes orbiting Earth?
No,
Probably.
not necessarily. No, Matthew. Not
No.
necessarily nukes. Okay, what they're called is EMP, electromagnetic pulse weapons, and the whole treaty about Star Wars now is involving the aspect that if the United States and or Russia or any of our other friends or enemies have a EMP device in place, they could bring down an entire city or a country just by firing a pulse weapon from space. And the part of that, most of that treaty now is to regulate those kind of weapons. And we both know that at least the United States and Russia, at least those two countries, do have possession of those said weapons.
Yeah,
China probably has them too, but they don't disclose them because they steal everything.
Both countries
from the U.S.
do have EMPs, and a little nugget of knowledge for everybody out there: EMPs do not require a nuclear blast.
No, they don't.
Even
have
though
you ever heard of the Rods from God program?
Yeah, it's the same thing as the Iron Dome over Israel. Yes, I already know all about that. So.
No, Rods from God was basically a theory of putting telephone poles in orbit and using them as kinetic kill weapons.
Yeah. No,
kinetic
but there's
energy.
there's another basically a giant railgun from space, basically.
That sounds quite far-fetched, but scientifically possible if you had the right equipment to be able to allow them to float.
I mean,
running into space debris.
The U.S. itself, militarily, our technology is still at least 50 to 60 years ahead of everyone else.
Well, I thought Japan was more ahead of us in a lot
You
of that
know,
microchip technology.
think about it like this: the technology you have in your hand, the military had 50 years ago.
Yeah, they all had that before us. That's true.
Even our allied militaries like Japan, South Korea. Did you know we're allied with the
So yeah.
um
So Lemon Pie says EMPs are a concern. That is why I am in a Faraday cage 24/7, even while bathing. Just
Well,
kidding.
I always
Always.
knew you were in a cage, Lemon, but damn.
You mean he's under house arrest? Maybe that's what and he can't get out or
Well,
something.
it depends
I
on
don't know.
what kind of cage he's got around him. You know that.
Yeah. But Daniel,
did y'all know
above
we
that,
have a
Suzanne,
military treaty with Thailand?
well, we've always been able to use their land space for bases and stuff. Yeah, Thailand's always had a U.S. connection. Actually, since after
The
was it
only
after Korea
nation
or
in the
after
world that
Vietnam?
has no
It was after
connection to
one of
other
those.
nations is the Kingdom of Bhutan. They
Yeah, I know
choose
about Bhutan.
to
Yeah.
isolate themselves totally from the world.
And they have that right. So they can be their own sovereign nation. They don't need to associate with others.
Yeah, but
Actually,
they
not
are the
just
ones
Bhutan,
that
but a
kind of
few others.
scare me because if things
Well,
go
not
to
necessarily.
shit out in East Asia or Western Asia,
Yeah.
Bhutan could come out of its hiding. They used to be a damn empire that surpassed even China
Uh-huh.
in number of people in their empire because they were part of the Bogut Khanate.
True, but I mean now they want to remain isolated, so I'm not sure why
Not
they
the
would have you in as
Bogut
them.
Khanate.
Yeah, well,
We're
but I just wanted to address
part
quickly
of the Golden
Daniel.
Horde.
Yeah, Matthew. No, I just want to quickly address to Daniel that yes, Suzanne agreed with you that people are really losing their minds daily. Absolutely, totally.
Yeah. But you know, when I was a kid, okay, like this is an example. Like when I was a kid, you remember watching those old Godzilla movies?
Oh yeah, I love the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, they were always talking about like the UN were always prohibiting other nations and everybody else they were making laws, lots of laws, prohibiting the use of nuclear weapons, right? Like all the time.
The release early, even back then in the early 50s. I think that's when Tojo and them started coming out with the Godzilla films. We had the issues of those those nuclear testing that we did in Bikini Atoll and those other areas. And so what the Japanese were doing was saying that because of these nuclear tests that were going on, that's where Godzilla came from, and all these other weird ass creatures like Mothra and all that, all that stuff. Even King Kong was an ancient legend, not created by nuclear testing, but by natural selection. So yeah, there was a lot of that issue. So, but go ahead, Daniel. What were you going to say?
I'm just kind of because like I'm just hoping that there are laws and there's more laws to like prohibit such things, because nobody wants a nuclear war.
We stopped. When did we stop testing, Jay? When was the last time there was even one nuclear test on a land base or anything? Does anybody know when the last time there was any kind of nuclear test?
So you're saying ancient myths about Godzilla and Mothra?
No, not ancient myths. The Japanese are saying the way that they were saying that Mothra and Godzilla were created was by way of nuclear testing. These were creatures that were just on normal islands, just isolated islands. Like I said, Bikini Atoll, the Marshall Islands. There's a couple of places that are there that are isolated and uninhabited, and that's where they were doing most of their weapons testing. And through the weapons testing, Japan came up with this concept that it was creating, oversized monsters like Godzilla. So,
What
that was
about King Kong or the super apes?
Yeah, I consider all of them, all the monsters in the MonsterVerse created by the nuclear testings and radiation.
Yeah,
Even Mothra.
yeah. But do they exist today? That's the problem. I've never seen a Godzilla type creature. That's not saying that there could be, like, in the depths of the ocean. Lately they've been finding like these oversized, what is it, like squid and shit. I'm like, it's amazing. There's so much hidden down there. Do you know we've done more? And this is not just U.S. and Canada, but other countries. They've done more to examine space out there than they have the waters of our own planet. There is only like less than 10% of the entire Earth, as far as waters is concerned, where we haven't even explored yet. We haven't even explored depths like underwater or anything. So I think that's appalling. I actually think it's disgusting.
Yeah, we know more about outer space than we do about our own oceans.
That's it. That's it. Jay, I was asking you. I'm sorry you were away, but I was asking you, when was the last time? Does anyone know when the last time there was a nuclear test of any kind? Because
it went right before the nuclear test ban treaty that banned all above ground detonations.
Yes, when was that? What year was that nuclear ban treaty?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to Google
56.
Was it 56?
I think so, because I think the Bikini Atoll stuff, I think that was like the last of the above ground, or close to the last of the above ground nuclear testing. Remember, because they put like a whole battle fleet out there trying to see like if ships would sink from a nuclear explosion and shit. And they detonated like the biggest bomb that they could make at the time. And it like literally sunk the entire atoll.
Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and let you guys know about this real quick. I looked it up. It's called the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. So on October 10th, 1963 is when all weapons testing was banned. Now, that same year, on August 5th, 1963, the Limited Test Ban Treaty was signed by the United States, the UK, and the Soviet Union. After Senate approval, the treaty that went into effect on October 10th, 1963, banned nuclear weapons testing in the atmosphere, in outer space, and underwater. So, October 10th, 1963.
Right.
There was this crazy idea to nuke the moon.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if we nuked the moon.
Let's have Space 1999 in real life, eh?
Yeah.
Lemon,
that is interesting.
You want to read this, Mikey, from Lemon?
Certainly. So Lemon Pie says, so I just looked it up, and apparently we last did an underground detonation in 1992 in the U.S. and have since found ways to test the weapons without detonations. Well, there's always a loophole. I think even Russia said that they did a few weapons testing over in Siberia, which was clandestinely done, but it wasn't it didn't break the treaty rules, I guess, because
they were underground testing did not break any of those treaty.
Because it's underground, it's not underwater.
But the problem is, I think underground testing is illegal now because they found out it poisons groundwater.
Yeah, groundwater and soil. Yes.
Well, by that calculation, fracking should be illegal too, because it does the same fucking thing.
Yeah. Yes. You're right, Jay. Fracking should be definitely illegal. I agree.
But the whole thing is the big oil barons around the world don't want oil to die, and they basically want to pollute our planet till it's uninhabitable. again.
Now, could you imagine if the oil companies put all their money and resources into fusion reactors instead of oil?
Yeah.
Because we've already got fusion reactors around the world that are producing more energy than they put into them to get them started.
That is
Right?
so
Yeah,
cool. I
see-
never knew that.
Plus, they
Yeah,
got
if-
they got a big fusion test facility that is either getting close to completion or is already completed. But
Yeah.
it's like on the scale of actual like production size fusion. So I mean it's
Well-
it. I know every time you hear something about fusion, oh, the next 10 years, the next 10 years, next 10 years, and they've been saying that for decades.
Hey, have any of y'all
We are right there. We are so close to it right now.
have any of y'all ever heard of the YouTuber Habitual Line Crosser?
No.
Y'all might want
I
to
don't know
look
him.
into him. He's actually hilarious. He takes snippets of local world news and makes it funny.
You know who else is hilarious? Andrew Dice Clay, but I guess that's subjective.
That goes way back.
I guess I'm aging myself
God.
here.
And, is he still alive, Andrew Dice Clay? I wonder if he's still breathing.
I know he was in a movie a few years ago. Let me
Yeah?
look. I think he is.
Yeah. I never got to see him.
I never got to see him either. Of course, that was a little before my time.
Yeah. Let's see.
Age 67, born September 29th, 1957. So he's 2 years younger than my mama. Yeah.
Damn. And let's see. You said how old is he now?
67.
God, he looks terrible. He looks terrible.
Well,
God.
here I'll share my screen and show you the pictures that I have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you know.
No, you're fine. You're fine, buddy.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So he's actually the same age as PvP.
Wow, that's saying something.
That is saying something. 67 years old.
How old
I don't
is
know if PvP would want. I don't know
Anti-Cracker?
if PvP would want to know that Andrew Dice Clay, who's one of the most antagonistic, craziest shit comedians of our century, is the same age as him. Oh my god, I got to tell him that tomorrow. Yeah, I got to let him know.
Jack and Jill went
Anyone
up the
know
hill
how
with a
old
pail of water. Jill
Salty
walked
is?
down with $1.50.
Row A to row B and row C. You
Yeah.
got row A to move to B, and from B to C and C to A.
Oh yeah, he fucked with. Yeah, you told me about that. Suzanne went to see him, and this one guy, ballsy guy, went to go to the bathroom. So while he was in the bathroom, Andrew Dice Clay, Suzanne was in row A. There's a row A, row B, row C, and so he moved people from one row to the other, back to the other thing to mess with the guy's head. So when he came back from the restroom, he didn't know where he sat. Yeah. And Clay pulled this whole prank shit on him. I mean,
That sounds like Andrew Dice Clay to me. That's absolutely.
Well, go for it.
yeah,
And he went on like that and finally told him.
yeah, because he told the guy, he said, "You're ruining my show." That's what Suzanne was repeating to me, and he says, "Well, I don't know where to see it is." He said, "Well, then go find it." That was Dice Clay, man. That's how he was. Yeah.
Lemon says Susie saw Andrew Dice Clay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah. Well, Suzanne met some really interesting people. Yeah, Lemon. Yep.
Hickory dickory dock. Your mom sucked on my. Oh, never mind.
Oh God! No, oh please! No. You might get shot down for that shit.
Yeah, I might get shut down if I keep going with that one.
Yeah, you don't want to go that far. Oh man.
My mom. Oh my God, my mom. The first time she found one of my Andrew Dice Clay tapes, her fucking jaw dropped and hit the floor. She's like, what? I was only like 13, 14 at the time.
And there was one thing I think I learned from him. He said, with a football you can always punt, but with the woman you can never touch her. Beep.
Yep.
Figure out that one.
Finger that one out, folks.
Hey,
Yeah.
is Salty Trekker still in the hospital?
I don't know.
Who is in the hospital?
I thought I heard somebody say one time that Salty was in the hospital.
Salty Trekker's in the hospital? Wow.
Or exposed, as he's called now, I guess.
Something like that.
I honestly don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit what happens to that guy. I mean, after what he was so rude to me, no.
Well, you can not agree with somebody.
Yeah.
But even to my worst enemies, it is because trust me, I can be one of the most you're dead to me type of, if you do me wrong, I can literally act like you're dead to me. But
Right.
when it comes to like health problems and that type of stuff, I don't know, it's just, you got to draw a line somewhere, right? So
Yeah. Well, Gorilla just answered you and said he got out 2 weeks ago there, Danny.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can like not agree with somebody and not like them, but to just say you don't care what happens to them, I mean, fuck, King Jong-un doesn't care what happens to people, right? So
yeah, it goes beyond.
Half of North Koreans don't even eat food.
No,
most of the North Korean elite have more food than the rest of their own countrymen
and women.
Well, their leader eats enough for about 1,000 of his people. So
no wonder why he's so fat.
Well, he went to school here in the U.S., right? Or not in the U.S.,
Yeah,
but in
a little while.
Was it the US
him
or
and
the
his grandfather snuck into the U.S. just to go to Disneyland once.
That's right. Once, yeah. Yeah, he did. Oh, and Disney World also. Don't forget that, Matthew. He sent him to both. Clandestinely, of course.
Yes. Well, back then, they weren't as heavily saints, and this was back in the 90s.
Here's my question. How does a world leader like that, under such scrutiny, get into the U.S. without our CIA and stuff like that knowing about it, right?
Yeah, Jay, there's got to be some secret clandestine meetings or something that goes on between the two governments.
That's what I'm saying. You just don't hop on a fishing trawler and say, "Here I am."
Well, it's not like they're okay. It's not like they're going to advertise and say, "Oh, here's Kim Jong-un. He's walking in here with his grandson through Walt Disney World Park over in Orlando."
Kim Jong-il. It was Kim Jong-il and Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. I'm just saying that they're not going to be like advertising their presence. It's going to be hidden for sure.
But it's not like our intelligence community is not going to know about it either, right?
Oh, of course they'll know. Well, it's not just CIA. Don't forget the NSA.
Yeah, the NSA and all the other isms.
Because it involves security issues for sure. I mean, I'll bet, you know what it is? I'll bet they do it when the park is closed. It's, because most of these parks are seasonal, right? They're not always open like all year round. I know
or they opened up the closed part that's been closed down for 20 years for them.
Sure.
All those abandoned Disney parks lighting up at night. Yeah, what about that?
Oh yeah, I felt really bad about the Paris. Was it the Paris one, or was it the Tokyo one that recently shut down?
I don't know. I know one of them did, but they've had ones that have been closed.
It might have been
30, 40 years.
It might have been the Shanghai one that shut down.
Okay.
Because a lot of companies have fled mainland China because of the fact of the CCP wanting to own 90% of their intellectual property and telling them what to do.
Well, if you're going to do business with China, you should have known what you were signing up for in the first place.
This is a good point, Jay. If you want to emphasize what Lemon says here, I think it's a bad idea to wish medical problems on anyone, especially since it can hit any of us at any time. That's absolutely true, Lemon. Very good
Yeah,
point.
tell me about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last
It's what we
month
call
I had that
karma.
damn stroke, if y'all
That's-
remember.
That's why I said you can
In May I had that goddamn stroke.
Let me be clear. I never wish anything bad on people, but I'm just saying, if something happens to the people who wronged me, I'm not going to cry for them. Simple as that.
Yeah, and you're allowed to do that. I mean, you're allowed to not have any remorse or any emotion about it, but at the same time, you just don't I know I have enemies, but I'm not going to wish cancer on them. Okay, that's probably one of the many things I would definitely not wish on them. Also, I wouldn't wish like a sudden natural disaster to wipe out their entire family all at the same time. It's things like that. It's well, I don't, I mean to, include Christ in this and say, love your enemies. That's what Jesus Christ did. I mean, look at the people that killed him. Okay. So, I mean, and he could have said, hey, Dad, like God, strike these people down, destroy their country, do whatever needs to be done. But no, he never did that. He understood it was all about forgiveness. It was all about, tolerance. It was a lot of things. So, yeah, Daniel, it's okay to feel the way you would, because I've had similar feelings before about other people myself. But again, I also believe it's karma. And karma will hit every single person on Earth. It's not limited to one person. It happens to a lot of people, and even evil people will get their
Karma
own
is a
karma.
bitch.
Now, see, why is karma always got to be a woman? That's sexist.
2026.
Yes, they're closing the Animal Kingdom,
Oh wow.
Hollywood Studios, and a few other places.
Okay, so my Suzanne just told me they're closing certain places like Animal Kingdom, things like that, over in Walt Disney World in Orlando until at least 2026. So maybe that's where you also heard, Matthew, is that some of their attractions and things like that are being closed down. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was talking about their old City of the Future attraction that's been shut down for like 30 years plus.
I remember going to
Epcot.
Disneyland for their Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
And then
Tomorrowland.
was
Yeah,
like
that's the
last-
one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to that a couple times, and I remember now that when it was dismantled, and everything was done, I was like, "What?" They even got rid of the Star Wars ride that was there for a while, and man, I was just like, "Okay, yeah."
Oh, so Lemon, what you wish for the bad stuff that you consider pineapple? My missus loves ham and pineapple pizza. Loves it.
Before I found out, okay, here's the thing about
Ham
pineapple.
and pineapple on pizza. That's a travesty.
Hey,
Not
my missus
necessarily
likes
if you
it,
enjoy it.
and my missus loves it, and I can get it from a block away at a hometown pizza place. It's got the best pizza in town. So
yeah, it's not really a travesty, Matthew, but to me, it's unfortunately I can't do it anymore because I'm allergic to pineapple. I'm allergic to the acidity
there's a word for that.
There is there's a syndrome for that.
Yes, because what was it? Somebody on the Enterprise D, loved pineapples,
right?
But was allergic to something, and
and
Crusher had to answer about what it was. Yes, and she had to break her oath as a doctor to give the people the information to make Geordie and pineapple upside down cake or something like that.
Yeah,
it's an obscure episode, but yeah. Oh wow,
very obscure. I don't even remember it.
We got a Star Trek reference out of it. How about that?
That's a very obscure episode that I don't even recall.
Yeah.
You know, in each nation, Star Trek was cut in different ways.
Yeah, there was actually an episode that was banned in the U.S. for a lot of years too.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Now this is weird. I just wanted to quote this real
Remember Up the Long Ladder? That was
Uh-huh.
banned in the United Kingdom for a long time
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
one was. Yep.
Okay, so
because
what I
it
searched for
supported
sorry.
Irish freedom fighters.
Mm. Okay, so this is interesting. So I looked it up, and it says there's a term for people allergic to pineapple. It says that people who are allergic to pineapple may also be allergic to birch tree pollen or bananas. That's known as pollen allergy syndrome. This condition is called oral allergy syndrome, OAS, and most commonly occurs in people with asthma or hay fever from tree pollen. Now, the weird part is, even though I'm allergic to pineapple, I know this because I break out in hives and I have bad rash when it happens if I eat anything that's related to pineapple or even juice, pineapple juice. But the problem is I love bananas, and I don't suffer from bananas much. So, because it's got the potassium and things I need.
I want to
so.
say Crusher said that I believe it was Jordy was allergic to bromine, which apparently is one of the
Bromide.
things, whatever. And see, you know the words better, and you don't know the episode. What the hell, Matthew?
Yeah, Lemon says instead, he says he may wish them to accidentally.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's why I said to him, my missus loves ham and pineapple pizza.
Oh boy! Now, before I found out I was allergic, I really enjoyed pineapples. I really did. They were in what they called ambrosia. You remember that?
Yes,
Fruit?
yes, I love ambrosia. Yes.
Oh my gosh!
No, not the Battlestar Galactica kind from the 70s and 80s, but yeah, real.
Yeah, not that stuff. No. This had like strawberries and kiwis, pineapple, grapes, all this stuff.
Yes,
and
the good.
You know what's sad is that Suzanne is allergic to grapes. She can't even have grapes. So
Yeah, that's it. There you go, Lemon.
There you go. Thanks, Lemon. Yeah, bromelain. Yeah, it's an enzyme.
That may be the
I'm allergic to the enzyme. Yeah.
He says
yes, that is. Yes. Thank you, Lemon, for giving the actual enzyme the term. Yes. That is my culprit. Yeah.
Wow, Daniel just bought pineapple Fanta.
I got pineapple
You got pineapple Fanta? What's that like?
I've never even heard of it.
It's really good.
The only Fanta we got is orange. Good old
Fanta orange, yeah.
Yeah, good old Uncle Adolf orange flavor. Well, hey, you want to know where Fanta came from? There you go.
Yeah, Germany.
Nazi Germany.
Exactly.
And that was because Coke pulled out of Germany.
Yep. And you know what? The only reason Ford pulled out is because we went to war with them.
Right. And
Ford wasn't too happy about going to war with Germany. Neither was Coke.
He wasn't happy about it because he was making a killing off of them.
Right.
Oh, look at that. Lemon pie is allergic to aubergine. I mean eggplant.
Aubergine.
Yeah, aubergine.
I was like, the first time I heard that word, I'm like, what the is that? And then somebody, because I was listening to Trek Yards and Samuel said it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, it's eggplant. I'm like, oh, okay.
I love eggplant.
I never heard it called aubergine before. So.
I actually love eggplant.
I've never had it. Like
it's
literally,
pretty good.
Like literally, when I was a kid, I'm thinking, okay, eggs come from chicken, so how can it be a plant?
Well, because the plant itself is.
Hey, what does eggplant look like?
It's big and it looks like a big purple zucchini.
Yeah, it's like a purple. Well, yeah, it's like zucchini is the long type of stuff. This is like the fat type of zucchini.
Yeah, not the
I was referring to the other image most people associate eggplants with.
Oh, you're talking about that Nintendo character, the big purple thing with the green. trees on
No,
its
I'm
head?
talking about the appendage on a male's body, you dimwit.
I've never heard a person's penis called an eggplant before. Holy shit!
Never heard that. Nope.
Nope.
I'm familiar. I'm familiar with.
I've heard it called a lot of things, but never an eggplant.
What was that guy from McDonald's? The purple big guy.
Grimace.
Grimace. Grimace. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. There's that, and then you've got the terrible Barney, the purple dinosaur, who everybody wanted to burn in hell. Then you had Yoshi. Yoshi is the one who was in the Mario world. Well, he was the purple one, I believe. Yoshi, yes.
Yeah, there was a cartoon too somewhere with like literally a purple eggplant running around on legs with
Oh God, no.
the
Really?
green part.
Oh, man.
Yeah, as its hair. Yeah, the green leaves were the hair. Yeah, it's
Daniel, let me ask you: were you old enough? Yeah, were you old enough to watch Barney?
Yeah, I saw
And
it.
what you think of him? And what you
Yeah,
think of him?
Actually, the very first movie I ever bought was
Daniel's young enough to be like my younger sibling, right? So
Oh, he's like your younger brother. That's cool.
well, he's old enough because my sister was only 7 years younger than me, right? So Daniel technically,
okay.
yeah, so Daniel could technically be like, even though he's younger than she was when she passed away, he could still technically qualify as like my younger sibling. And I wish I would have had a brother. Somebody actually could have rolled around the backyard with my feet.
Well, oh, you know what? We forgot one more purple person. The Teletubbies. We forgot one of the purple Teletubbies.
Oh, Jesus.
They're warped. Yeah, I forgot. One of them was purple too. I had
what were their names?
Coloration.
Doink, Dink, Dank.
Oh,
no.
God, no. Yeah,
Oh,
I don't remember.
Tinky Winky.
Yeah, Tinky Winky.
Popo.
Oh.
Yeah, Bo. Yep.
Man, they're whack. You guys see like any? What was it? Let me think. A couple months ago, yeah. So they were showing that Teletubbies were evil, and there was this weird ass video that was on YouTube where like if you stared at the sun, remember the sun was like a baby's face, and like something like that.
Yeah.
This
Don't
really
remind
weird
me.
ass thing, and you'd be like staring at it, going mesmerized. I think you know what? I think my nephew and my nieces I was with at the time watched Barney, and I know one of my nieces was mesmerized, and I don't know if they were traumatized, but I know they were like under some kind of hypnosis shit, and I was like, they're being hypnotized. Hey, what's going on? Sesame Street didn't do this shit, and I certainly know the ones I grew up with.
No, they just had a tiny green guy in a garbage can.
Yeah. I mean, that shows my age. Even Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood never messed with your mind or any shit. But as soon as like you're seeing, as soon as you're seeing something like Barney the dinosaur and all this crap, then you're like, oh my God. Well, even Pee-wee's Playhouse was nuts. Yeah, that was messing with you. For sure.
Hey, say what you will about Paul Rubens. He was the most entertaining out of all them shows.
Oh yeah, I don't deny it. Well, and remember, Samuel L. Jackson was in it before he said motherfucker. So.
Yes, when he was known as Samuel
Cowboy Curtis. Yeah,
Cowboy Curtis, but on the credits he was just called Sam or Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Pee-wee's Playhouse there, Daniel?
Yeah, I did. Loved it.
You loved it? Cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was bizarre, though.
Now, my youngest daughter's mom, which my youngest daughter's 22 now, but my youngest daughter's mom refused to let her watch Barney or the Teletubbies.
Really?
It was all she could do to stand to let her watch Dora the Explorer. Especially when my daughter came out of her bedroom singing backpack. I'm the map.
Yeah, they had. Well, there was okay. My nieces really did enjoy Dora. And then eventually, remember, Diego came around.
Oh, Diego,
Diego
yeah.
was
Yep.
nuts. And I was like,
Well, I
you
kind
guys
of
really
thought
like
of
Diego? I'm
I
like, come
kind of
on.
thought of Diego like as the food stamp version of Dora.
Yes.
So, and that's
Well,
not saying, and I'm not putting down food stamps. Trust me, I use them. Okay, folks.
oh, no,
So,
no, no, no. My parents went through food stamps. No, we don't put
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So,
No.
yeah, no, I don't get down on nobody. That's just me making a rep.
Right.
It's like the generic version of Dora, I should say. So,
Yeah.
or the store brand, whatever you want to say nowadays.
You want to know if you want to hear a funny bit about Dora though is like since third grade all the way until like my freshman year in college, I had been studying Spanish, right? Like for about 12 years or so. And
La
there's only like a
cerveza,
few,
por favor.
yeah, right. And there's only like a few phrases I would know, like if I went down to Mexico City, I've said this before, I could survive in Mexico
Yep.
City by
As long as
myself.
you know 3 words, you can survive in Mexico: cerveza, tequila, and agua,
And baño,
and baño,
bathroom,
and
bathroom.
taco. Yes. Oh,
You
la
have to know that. And
la
farmacia. Yeah. You have to know
comida,
farmacia.
comida, por favor, comida.
Yeah.
I need food. Food. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's a funny bit about Dora is so I'd watch this with my nieces every once in a great while because I'd be a not only an uncle to them but also like a babysitter. And I swear to you, most of the time they would talk in Spanish, right? They would tell you a Spanish word and then this is what it means. And it was so funny because I'd start saying the words perfectly, and my nieces Kayla and Monique would look up at me and go, "Uncle Mike, are you okay?" I said, "I'm just repeating what she's saying on the show," and I knew some of the words, so I was translating, and they go, "Was that what that really means?" I said, "Yes, that's what she's saying."
Now
It
I'm going
was
to tell
funny.
you.
It
I'm going to
was
tell you a
funny.
story here. I've never told anybody this.
Okay.
Well, on YouTube, anyways.
Yeah.
When I was little, and like the age of like 3-4 years old, right? Sitting in our house with our aerial antenna, watching Sesame Street and all that, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
I had a problem where I wasn't hearing things the right way. I had to have a procedure before I even started kindergarten where I had to have what they call put tubes in the ears.
Yes.
I had that.
So
My sister Elizabeth had that problem, tubes in the ears. Yeah.
right, and when I tried to tell my mom I wanted Kool-Aid, I'd say I want some Kool-Aid, right? Because I was saying stuff the way I was hearing it. And one day it was like a really, really hot summer day, and we didn't have air conditioning, and we lived in a trailer house, so it was like super hot, right?
It's like
I'm
living in your
surprised
own
you did not
personal
have a
oven.
window unit.
And and I was trying to tell my mom I wanted some water.
Yeah.
I was like, water. And my mom was like, what? And finally I said, from watching Sesame Street, I said, agua, which I could say. And mom was like, oh, okay. So
water.
she got me some water. And then she kind of put 2 and 2 together, like, I'm not talking right. I'm 4 years old. I should be talking a hell of a lot better than what I am, right? So she took me into my doctor, and he's like, yeah, this kid needs tubes in his ears. So, yeah.
To be able to hear clearer, right?
Yep. And as soon as I remember this to this day, that procedure, they were blowing that high pressure air gun into my ear to get that little microscopic tube thing in my ears. And it hurt like
I
hell.
did not start talking till I was 5 or 6.
Oh, I was talking, just nobody could understand me.
No, it was just the pattern of speech. Liz was like that. My youngest sister, who I said had the ear situation herself, she would just say things to my mom. My mom was like, "What? Like."
Yep, my mom did the same
nothing
thing.
she
Yep.
said it was basically when she could speak, which was around. Actually, I'm kind of ashamed.
I did not start talking till
my brother,
I was 6 years old.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. I'm ashamed because my brother and both my sisters after me learned how to speak earlier than I did. So I won't say by how much, but it's not pleasant. But anyway, getting back to Elizabeth. So Elizabeth would when she was like 4 or 5, she would ask for a cookie, but she'd say "hooey,"
Cooey.
like a guy
Cooey.
or something like that, or
Yep.
"ookie" or
I said
something
it
like
the
that.
same way. A cooey.
A cooey, yeah,
Yeah.
like that. And my mom said, "What?" What? And my dad, if he was home, he'd say, "What the hell? What is she asking for?" And then she'd have to point to it. And then my
Yep.
mom would say, "Oh, cookie. It's
Yep.
a cookie. Yeah, cookie. Yeah."
And I'm surprised, I know my mom had a lot on her plate when I was born because I was her firstborn and everything, but
Right.
For that water incident, when I wanted water when it was that hot outside, for me to have to say it in Spanish for her to understand
Yeah,
what
for her to
I
understand.
am surprised you did not have window units in your trailer home.
Yeah,
So
what's
my
up with
my
that?
my dad was so cheap, dude. No,
Oh man.
he
You
was
have
a
to go
Marine.
there to
My dad was a
stay.
Marine, and he thought if he had to
Oh.
suffer, everybody had to suffer.
Oh, that's okay. That's why, because barracks are also very yeah, okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense because he was a Marine. Yes. Okay. That makes more sense now. Yes.
I mean, but on the plus side, I had a stockpile of sea rats in my bedroom, so
Wow.
I had cases of he used to bring home cases of sea rats from Camp Greeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's good to see Kevin's theme park adventures. He's friends with Larry and yeah, hey Lemon.
Yes, Kevin's
I
been
love
coming
Kevin.
around for every time I'm live. Kevin comes around, so welcome back, Kevin. Kevin was here earlier when I first started the stream, so welcome back, Kevin. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
welcome, Kevin.
I'm not sure if Lemon's still here or lurking in the chat, but yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, Daniel, is there any films coming up that you're actually looking forward to seeing?
I know.
Here's all the medical conditions I've had. Pectus excavatum. I could not talk till I was 5 or 6. I had my adenoids taken out, my tonsils
Ooh.
taken out.
Oh, those are tonsils. I
I
had mine
had
out when
my
I was 3.
ears done too. I had tubes put in my ears. I
You
was
had that
about
too?
6 when that happened.
Wow.
The
And
best
from
thing
there,
about
the doctors were like, "You have the smallest ear canals we've ever seen." They actually wanted to get permission for my parents to put me in the Guinness Book of Records.
Hey,
My
you know
parents
what?
were like, "Hell no."
You know
Yeah.
what,
They were like,
Matthew?
"Don't you know the Guinness Book of Records will pay you?"
Matthew, you know what? At least you have a valid excuse for the next time you don't listen to somebody. Just say, "I got the world's smallest ear tubes."
Yeah. But I just wanted to change the pace just slightly. So Daniel, what's one of the first movies you're looking forward to this summer? Or
Well, I don't know.
I wish
What
I
is
could
coming
go
out this
to a
summer?
movie.
Not sure. What
Yeah,
is
right.
coming out this summer? All
Well,
the good movies are coming out in 2026. I mean, you got
I know
Avengers.
on Wednesday. Okay, well, on Wednesday is when Jurassic World Rebirth comes out with Scarlett Johansson.
Jesus, another
Then
Jurassic
July
movie?
11th, yeah. Then July 11th is when Superman comes out.
Wait, didn't we
How
just
many
have it?
Jurassic Worlds have there been?
I thought we just had a Superman movie.
No, it's coming out July 11th. There, Jay.
Yeah, it could have been Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot fighting Brainiac.
Yeah, but Cavill dropped out. Yeah, no, they didn't want to do it.
They just decided to hit the reboot button and go for this James Gunn.
James Gunn, yeah.
Superman.
I got to tell you, I'm really not okay. There's 2 characters I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Nicholas Hoult playing Lex Luthor. He's got the bald head. He's got all this stuff down. I don't know if he ever talked to Gene Hackman before he died, but because he was the first to play Luthor in like that live action, Superman way back. But I like where he's going. I like his attitude, the way he's acting in the trailers, because I've seen all of the trailers for Superman already with Suzanne. I like him, and I want him to succeed as the next Lex Luthor. I do. I want him to. The other one I'm looking forward to is Crypto. You realize that none of the previous Supermans, even like TV Supermans, I think except for maybe animation, they had Crypto, I think, once, the Super Pets or something like that. That didn't last very long. But they've never had Crypto himself in a actual live action Superman movie.
How are you going to have a character? Here's my thing. How are you going to have a character named Crypto unless it's based on a currency that nobody really believes in anyways?
Well, no, that's the name of the dog.
Unless he's based off of a crystalline mineral that was found on the planet Kryptonite that Superman is from.
Krypton, not kryptonite.
Whatever. It's called Kryptonite from the planet Krypton. It's based on a mineral in the planet. How the hell can you have a character based on a mineral?
Krypton is actually an actual element in the periodic table.
Yeah, but we're talking about Superman, not the periodic table of elements.
No, we're talking about Superman. I think James Gunn is going to give you a quick backstory of how Crypto becomes.
Oh, did the planet blow up from a nuclear explosion? Is that how he got formed?
Maybe I don't know.
Like Godzilla.
He looks like a mutt to me.
Yeah, way to rip
He
off
looks like a
Godzilla
mutt
there,
to me,
buddy.
but well, no, Jay, you've seen the trailers, right? So Crypto looks like a mutt.
No, I haven't.
Right?
I have not seen anything. I'm just going by what
you need to check.
I'm going by what you're saying, buddy. So.
Oh, okay. Well, go see the trailers. They're available on YouTube right now. Just check it out because Crypto looks like a big old ass mutt, but with a cape on, which I think is really weird. But there's this one trailer where Superman is obviously in pain, like he's been, battling some kind of, alien or some shit, and he's hurt. He's really hurt, and he crashes into the Arctic there, the circle. Like outside of his fortress.
Oh, geez, the Arctic again, just like the original Superman movie. Oh boy.
Yes. And so Crypto, he does this high-pitched whistle, and all of a sudden, Crypto, you see this big old huge ass bunch of snow kicking up and everything. And here comes Crypto running over to him, and he says, "Crypto, home, take me home," which is the fortress, right? So he grabs on. So he grabs on in the trailer. He grabs onto Superman's cape, and basically drags him at hyper speed back to the Fortress of Solitude. And then all he has to do is a certain pitch bark that he does. So he goes woof, and it opens up the doors to the Fortress of Solitude. And then they put him on they put Superman on a
this is
an
way
ice
too
table. And then there's like these medical droids. Come out.
This is getting way meta, like going into the original, like 1980s Superman movies type of stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So, Mikey, do you want to read
Didn't the original Superman movies make Christopher Reeves a paraplegic?
Well, that happened between
to do all his own stunts.
Well,
yeah, Christopher Reeve did most of his own stunts.
He did most of his own stunts. That's not why he became paralyzed, though.
No. He had an accident. He was playing polo, and he had an accident. Fell off his horse, and had a dislocation, I guess, all over his body. From the accident. Just playing polo, just being on a horse.
Yeah. Okay, so Mikey, Lemon Pie asked a question, and I'll have Daniel read his own answer because that's a good conversation they're having in the chat there.
Yeah. So Lemon says Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot would have been cool. Yeah, they would have been cool coming back. Go ahead, Daniel. You read what you said.
Yeah, hold on a second. I gotta switch screens. 1 second. My
well, we can have Mikey. Or I'll read what you said, Daniel. Daniel said to Lemon Pie, Man of Steel 2 with Henry Cavill Superman and Gal Gadot Wonder Woman fighting Brainiac. Wasn't Brainiac from Brainiac and the Mouse? Oh, never mind.
Brainiac was in the comics, but he's also been in some of the animated
I was
Marvel
thinking,
and
yeah,
DC. Yeah,
I was thinking of Mouse in the Brain or something like that. The two mice anyway.
No, you were thinking of Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain, yeah.
You have to rule the world, Pinky.
Would have been awesome, and The Rock's Black Adam. Fuck The Rock. I hate him as an actor. Would have made a cameo in the movie. Yeah. No, see, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson needs to keep his fat head out of anything popular. That's all I gotta say, because he ruins shit as far as I'm concerned. The same way Jason Momoa.
You know, there was an episode with The Rock in it in Voyager.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and he sucked in that too. So.
Yeah. Well, what was the
Did you know there was also an episode in TNG with Mick Fleetwood in it?
Well, yeah, because they were weird ass aliens.
The Antedians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically had a big Paramount.
The one in Voyager was
and bribe them to get it in.
7 of 9 got kidnapped, and she was doing
Kentatse.
Kentatse, and she was brought to this arena, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson was kicking her ass, even though she's a Borg.
Yeah. Yeah. So Lemon agreed.
You know, the only reason they were letting her get her ass kicked?
Yeah.
It's because she was a female.
Because
and
he was 10 times
are
her
supposed
size?
to be subservient.
Because he was 10
especially
times
back
her
in the
size?
90s. That was way before UFC came out.
No,
now
actually,
we have
UFC
women who actually fight.
Yeah, thank
and
God
it's
we live in.
acceptable.
Yeah, thank God we live in
So-
these times.
UFC actually existed back then, Daniel. You just
Yeah.
never heard about it.
Yeah, so Lemon agreed with Daniel, and then he said, I'd like to see Crypto delete a villain. Well, there's a scene in one of the trailers where Crypto actually kicks butt and hits this one woman villain in the head. Literally just goes right at her and kicks her in the head with his front paws and has her fall over. Yeah, that's kind of cool. He had a Brainiac figure as a kid. That's cool, Lemon.
Yeah,
And then
Daniel wants to
asked
know what happened to it. Yes.
Sure.
You have no idea. What? No idea. Come on, man.
Consarn it, Lemon. Come on. You're a Texan. What happens to those things out there? They just get taken by hawks or some shit? Or I don't know, man.
Depends which part of Texas you're in.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I could do a drill instructor line here from Full Metal Jacket, but I don't know.
Be
The only
careful,
thing that comes from Texas.
Steers and queers, and you know
Steers
what?
and queers. Which one are you, fat boy?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes.
That's the only thing
right.
certain in life? Yeah.
That is absolutely right, Matthew. And thank you for quoting Dennis Leary, by the way.
And Lemon says, yeah, wild hogs ate it.
Wait.
Lemon.
Wait, so Tim Allen and those other guys and John Travolta.
Hey, have y'all seen the new ads for Spaceballs 2?
Dude, I was trying to make a joke. You remember the Wild Hogs movie with Tim Allen and John Travolta?
I'm too young.
And John Travolta and William H. Macy. Yes.
Yes,
and
the black guy, wasn't it Martin Lawrence was in it too?
Martin Lawrence, yeah.
Yes.
Martin.
Shut up, Chennai.
Did y'all hear the actor who played Bubba died from Dukes of Hazzard?
Okay. Yeah. Lemon, it must have been some secret Scientology a ritual, right, with your Brainiac character. And
hey, if it wasn't Travolta, it would have been dang it, what's the Top Gun guy?
Yeah.
Oh my god, my brain is Swiss cheese right now.
Swiss cheese?
Yeah.
or grated Swiss cheese.
Yeah. Well, I swear,
Did y'all hear the actor who
um,
played one of the characters in Dukes of Hazzard died?
dude, they've been dying for years. That
Yeah,
shows
they've
in
all been
this.
dropping dead like back and forth, dude. I think the only person left alive right now, I think it's John Schneider is still
John
breathing.
Schneider is the only one still alive. Yeah, Luke Duke.
Yeah. Oh no, and then isn't the one that played Daisy Duke is still alive?
Oh, is she still
Daisy-
around?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know because she got fat, real fat.
Oh, yeah, I know. She didn't turn out well. Damn it.
That's why every time I hear that song, Daisy Dukes, I'm just like, yeah, no, please turn that shit off. I don't want to picture some 6 foot wide woman walking down the road with shorts up her butt. No, thank you.
Yeah. I will do the our service.
What was her name? Catherine something? I don't know.
Catherine Bach. Her name was Catherine Bach.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Hold on.
I lost many a toys in a move when I was a kid. So probably a mover who stole it has it, and they are 90 now. And karma will doom their soul.
So here are the people that are still breathing from Dukes of Hazzard. One of them is Tom Wopat, who was Luke Duke.
Yep.
John Schneider, who was Bo Duke. Catherine Bach, who was Daisy
Tom
Duke.
Wolpat's still alive. Okay, I didn't know he was.
Yeah, he's still alive. Ben Jones, who's Cooter.
Cooter.
Yeah, and that's it.
Hey, imagine having a character with the name Cooter in modern television.
Yeah.
Would never happen.
So who was it, Matthew, that you said passed away recently?
One of the deputies.
Probably Roscoe.
Oh no, probably Enos. The guy who played
Enos.
Enos.
Enos, yeah.
Enos Slaughter, yeah.
Why do you call him Enos? His name's Enos.
Well, I pronounce it Enos, but
don't tell him that.
But some pronounce it Enos. I don't know.
It's Enos. E-N-O-S. Enos.
Yes, Enos. But some people pronounce it Enos.
Yeah, well, they're weird.
It's like tomato.
No, that's not like tomato. No.
Yes,
totally
it is.
Not. No, well, no.
Oh.
You go down south and try to say, yeah, this guy Anus from the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, right. I know. Okay, I know that James Best, who played Roscoe P. Coltrane,
Yes,
James Best died. I know that.
Oh yeah, he was like the oldest one there, besides the guy that played Boss Dog.
And we all know,
it was
about
Rick Hurst
that died. You know.
And, Denver Pyle played Uncle Jesse.
It was the actor who played Cletus Hogg, Rick Hurst.
Oh, Cletus, yep, the other deputy.
Rick Harris, yeah, Cletus. Okay.
Oh, Rick Harris. I forgot he had the same name as that fucking fake Pawn Star guy.
He was that. No, wait, Matthew was. Yeah, the Rick Harris, right? So he was Cletus Hurst. I'm sorry, H-U-R-S-T.
Oh, Hurst. Okay, I thought you said Harris.
Yeah. So Rick Hurst, he came later, right? Like after Enos left.
Yeah. After Enos left, yes, then Cletus.
Enos left. Okay. The actor that played him.
I will always correct you on that.
Then
Mikey.
his brother Cletus came. Okay.
Right. Yeah, no offense, Mikey, but I will
another
always
show that I found very tragic.
Yeah.
In the heat of the night, although most people already probably know this, the son of Carol O'Connor actually committed suicide while the show was still in serial production.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was tough. Lemon says, it was good to see you all. I need to get going. Have a good night. Have a great night, Sir Lemon. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully, so you can, guide the chat tomorrow for our special thing for Larry. So,
what was Carol O'Connor's son's name?
Oh,
Was it
Sharon?
Dan O'Connor?
I don't know. Sharon,
Nice.
they seem like girly names.
Yeah. Yeah. Lemon also said, he said, I lost many toys in a move when I was a kid, so probably a mover who stole it has it, and they are 50 now. Oh, or 90? Oh, 90?
Yeah.
I read it as 50. Oh, that's weird. Okay, 90.
Wait, Daniel. I got to read your comment, and then I got to respond to this.
Yeah, go for it.
Daniel says, I ain't crying when Jack Nicholson kicks the bucket, and he's 88 now, and will be 90 in 2027. That guy got $50 million in 89 for Batman 89. He retired off that. He came out because of boredom. Yeah, because once you do a movie like The Shining and all the other movies he did, and he did movies after the 89 Batman, but a lot of movies.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
but he didn't have to. He just did it because he wanted to add something else to his resume.
Right.
In 2026, we're finally going to get a Spaceballs 2.
Here's my question. Why are you so mad at Jack Nicholson? I don't understand.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like I can't stand these people who retire, and there are people out there who are dying of starvation. There are people who have mental and physical problems. They can't work.
So you're saying if I were to stop being a nice guy, came out of retirement of being a complete dick, and went out and made a bunch of money, you'd be mad at me?
No, not you, not you.
Well, that's basically it's the same analogy.
Yeah, I know, but it's just okay. For example, Tom Holland right now. Tom Holland, he's 29 years old. He's going to retire after Secret Wars in 2027. What business does a 30-year-old have retiring? Right?
Good. I say good on him. Fuck. I wish I could have retired 20 years ago.
I mean, he's going to be 30 years old. Or 31 or whatever he's going to be in 2027.
Yes. Because if I could have retired 20 years ago, that's a lifetime that you could be out there enjoying yourself, enjoying life. It's what life is all about.
Sure.
I don't get mad. I don't get mad at out there. I might not like what people do, like the roles they play or whatever, but I'm not gonna get mad at them or fault them for doing it. Good on them for getting ahead in life.
Well, I mean, hey guys, did any of y'all ever watch Downton Abbey?
Yes.
I've heard of Downton.
Who was your favorite character in that?
I've never seen it.
Matthew, just because I watch it doesn't mean I wanted to watch it. I was kind of forced to.
Yeah. Let me guess, her wife at the time?
Why does everybody think I've always been married? I've never been married a day in my life. Get out of here.
Nope. Even I know that, and I haven't known Jay for that long yet.
Is Maggie Smith still alive?
Yes, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I said, Matthew, unfortunately, I've never seen Downton Abbey. I've heard of it.
All I know is
I have seen it, but I have not seen it myself.
All I know is it was filmed at an actual country house owned by an actual Duke or Duchess or some bullshit like that. And they had to pay out the ass to use the property and the house and everything else. So that's all I really know about it.
Yeah. And I was going to mention something to Daniel too about look at all the stars that grew up in front of us, from the Harry Potter series, right? From the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
I was going to say Harry
those guys, Rupert Grint and Watson and even Daniel, Radcliffe. They can all retire, all of them, but they still work, even though they made so much money that for their roles that they could easily just step away and walk away and not have to work again.
Yeah, Daniel, that's that's like saying the hitchhiker in the back of the Cadillac and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas should have retired after that movie instead of becoming Spider-Man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who was that?
Oh, Toby, what's his name?
Oh, Tobey
Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, he was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp.
I'm gonna mute myself for a few minutes. Hold on.
Yeah, I hear a smoke alarm. But yeah, Tobey Maguire was in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He was a hitchhiker that Johnny Depp picked up as he was because he was playing the name the writer. Oh, Mikey, I need to hear that writer. What's his name? Oh, dang it. Anyway, but yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm just saying I'm not going to cry for these people. You know, I'm not going to go boo hoo for them. You know, because like Jesus Christ, man.
oh no, you don't have to. I'm just saying, it's like obviously, do we all want to do better in life? Yes, we do. But you know what? I'm not going to hold it against somebody that's out there getting it and earning it either. You know what I mean? If they get out there and they earn it, hell yeah, all the more
but
better.
They're overpaid. They're overpaid. They have no business getting that much money.
Oh, okay, Mikey. Okay. Wait, you can't tell the difference there, Mikey. There's a difference in the smell. I'm just saying.
Yeah, they have no business getting that much money, you know. But they just have the power. They have the lawyers, and they can negotiate this much money because they're dicks.
Yeah.
Why it happens? I don't know why it happens, bud. You're the one that lives in an apartment building, but then again, so do I guess. So. Lol, I do know the smell difference. Okay, good. Okay. Just making sure, buddy. Mikey talking to me in the private chat. No, I get you. I got you, Daniel. I hear what you're saying.
I don't mean anything negative. I'm just saying, you know, it's just I don't know. It's frustrating, man. You know, this world is
dude. You're telling me. You know what I live off of? We live off of her SSI check and whatever hours I work at the store. That's it. $1,200 a month. You know how much my rent is? $650 a month.
Oh yeah.
The only thing saving my ass is the fact that all my utilities are included. That's the only thing saving my ass. That and the fact that we get food stamps. That's the only thing saving my ass from being homeless.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I hear
some good news, the shelter will extend me almost indefinitely as long as I have the case going on or cases.
Oh, your court cases?
Yeah.
Right on.
One isn't even being pursued right now because I'm concentrating on the first one.
Right. You can really only do one at a time, right?
Yep.
So you should be okay housing wise for a little while.
Yep.
Yeah, Mikey says we only live on his wife's disability. We do food bank every once in a while, but luckily our rent's affordable. Yeah, exactly. Right. We got that. That's what I'm saying. You know, we're barely, you know, scraping by, most of us here. You know, we're only a half a step away from being homeless, right? So you got to count your blessings.
You don't get SSI too?
No, I
Do
don't.
you just make too much?
No, I don't qualify for SSI. I'm not mentally deficient. I'm not physically deficient.
You don't qualify for disability with?
No, I don't, because I'm putting all of my efforts into taking care of her as her caregiver. They don't pay me to be a caregiver. I mean, they can, but I don't want the state of Michigan all up in my business for a fucking $40 a week check. So,
you know, you might want to take that because it's going to become extremely hard in the next couple of years.
No, you don't understand. I don't like nobody in my house. It's bad enough me having hospice up here, and thank God we got a hospice nurse that we like and likes us. So, yeah, I've had my share of social workers and all that bullshit, and I even told their own social workers, keep your fucking distance because I've had my share of y'all. Okay, there's only one social worker they have I'll even consider talking to, and they know it. And she got her boss fired because of me. So, sorry, you dropped out, Matthew. I had to bring you back.
Social workers can be. I mean, it depends on the social worker, but they can be a pain in the butt.
No. When we first got in hospice, they had this social worker come over. And she tried saying, "Oh, we had mold on the walls, this, that, and the third." The day after she was here, and I remember this because little Josie, I call her little Josie because she's actually the one I like that I'll let come over, was training under her. But this old bitch tried saying I had mold on my walls, this, that, and the third. And our nurse had already been here countless times. But this social worker walks in and tries to say all this shit about my apartment. So I had adult protective services come. I had CPS come. All this other bullshit. I'm like, oh, hell no. You come in, you do your fucking thing, whatever you want to do, and then you get the fuck out. And I could have refused them right at the door because you have the right to do that here in Michigan. As a U.S. citizen, you have the right to say, fuck no, you ain't coming in without a warrant. But I let them come in, be like, see, Nikki's okay. I'm okay. The house is clean. We got everything we need. What the fuck? And they dropped their investigation right then and there. And then I found out little Josie that was there with her, the girl she was training, I call her little because she's only like 18, 19, 20 years old, got that woman fired because she knew it was bullshit. That's why I don't like motherfuckers in my house.
Oh, so how old is Josie now?
She's like 20, 21.
She got her supervisor fired?
Yep. For trying to pull some bullshit on me. For calling adult protective services and CPS. For no reason. Because in Michigan, anybody that is a nurse or a social worker or a teacher or anything like that, they're what are considered what's the word I'm looking for, Mikey? If you're still here, they have to report anything that they see. Right. And I'm pretty sure you got it there in West Virginia too, or Virginia.
It's a little different here in the Commonwealth.
They're called mandated reporters. They have to report anything that they think is not right with a home or with a child or anything. But this bitch was just off her fucking rocker. And little Josie fucking got her boss fired because she knew it was bullshit.
So did the supervisor try it with other people too?
I'm guessing she did before because as soon as I told APS and CPS to fuck off, she got fired. And I never, because Josie called me like a week later and said, hey, just so you know, that old lady ain't going to be bothering you no more. I'm like, good. And she says, yeah, she no longer works for us. I'm like, good. Thank you. And she said, you're welcome.
Some people just need to be put out of pasture because they're too old.
I'm telling
Sounds like that's the case in that supervisor. How old was the supervisor?
Oh, God, she must have been like my mom's age, 60-something, almost 70.
Yeah, she needed to retire. But a lot of retirees are coming out of retirement because cost of living is too expensive now in this
I tell you,
country.
my mom, she gets full retirement from Social Security, plus she's working 30 hours a week for a nonprofit that finds homes for homeless people in her county. So,
Plus, once you reach a certain age, I think
well, my mom will be
when
70 this August. So
when was your mom born? 50s or 60s?
19 August 31st, 1955.
So once he hits 65, they do not. One thing most people don't realize, they do not collect extra earnings once you hit
No,
65 and you're
but
drawing Social
but
Security benefits.
right, she didn't start drawing until she was 68. However, with Social Security the way it is, even though she's getting Social Security retirement, she can't work no more than 30 hours a week, or else they'll cut her Social Security. That's just the way it works in this country, bud.
Well, maybe that's how it works in Michigan. That's not how it works
That's
in
not Michigan. That's the
Virginia.
federal government.
But each state has its own requirements
Not for
for.
not for regular retirement. This is regular retirement, so Social Security. You can only work so many hours a week even on regular Social Security, but
Okay.
From what I've been told, I've actually been told this by Social Security. Once you hit 65 or your full retirement age, they cannot pull any more money and say you owe them.
no, exactly. She won't owe them. But
No.
she also can't work more than 30 hours a week or they're going to cut her retirement benefits.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't even work, Matthew, and I still have to wait at least 2 more years before I can technically qualify for Social Security, and I'm not even supposed to receive full benefits on it.
Yeah, and even
Well, this
then,
is what they told me. Yeah, this is what they told me. I wasn't
Yeah.
even supposed to get it till I'm 67, and I was like, but that's when I was still working. But when I retired, which was was a forced retirement, I had to retire when I was 53, or no, 52. I'm sorry. So when I was 52, even then, even when that happened, and I walked away from working, they still say to me, "Well, you're going to have to, uh, apply and qualify." At 62, you'll apply for it and say, "Okay, I want to get some of my payments, given back to me." But yeah, by the time I reach 65 or 67,
and I got something to add to that too. See,
Yeah.
Mikey's getting lucky, right? Mikey's getting
Yes.
lucky with what they told him. Now
Right.
I stopped working on paper. I say on paper, where I was actually paying into the system 8 years ago when I started to stay home and take care of Nikki and working under the table. So guess
course.
what? After she's dead and gone, and after the kids out of high school, guess what I got to do? I got to go back to work for 20 fucking years.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because you got to be on paper working for 2 whole fucking years before you can even think about applying for Social Security.
Right. Yeah, I don't like the, it is what it is, Jay, but I really don't like the situation that you're in right now.
And that's the thing. I'm sitting here pouring my heart out and doing everything I got to do. And, I got no problem doing that. But, come the time when she's gone and he's out of school, yeah, I'm gonna be that bitter old ass motherfucking trucker out there at 50 some years old.
Or in a way like PvP, except you'll have kids.
No, yeah, my kid's 13 now, so 5 years from now, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I'll be I'll be 54 years old when he graduates high school. So
yeah. Well, who I feel bad for too is Gorilla, because he's got a couple kids, and they're still young, so he's able to take care of them, and he has a good job, and there's no question there. But of course, when they reach 18, what's going to happen with him too? Because he's he's a single dad. He's not married to anybody yet, but he was. He might have been at one time. But he has a difficult situation himself. He's got to take care of kids and things for pretty much the rest of his life.
And I feel for the guy doing it by himself. He's
totally feel bad for him.
He's out there and he's doing it, and he's doing his YouTube channel.
Yes.
I mean, I talk about taking care of Nikki, this, that, and the third, but you know what? At least I got her here for now for support, because no matter what I do for her and what I'm going through, she gives me that love and that thankfulness back in return, and that's all I need.
Yeah.
Right.
I do say every once in a while that I am the luckiest son of a bitch in the world. I finally had the perfect wife, and I have 2 wonderful kitty cats, which we consider our kids, but I don't have to raise actual human kids, and I feel totally blessed. I do. There are moments where I can be like really upset and go, gosh, I wish something might be different here or there. No.
Yeah.
Those ideas are immediately taken out of
that's one thing that my family's trying to pressure me to find a girl and marry her to have kids. But
is that the only reason? Because you really have to love the person.
I mean, yeah, you don't want to get stuck with child support.
Mentally handle raising children.
Honestly, I don't think you can either, bud. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying I've talked to you for enough years. I don't think that you're in the right
frame of mind.
Frame of mind to be raising a kid. Exactly.
Right. Especially, well, I can see where my half brother is coming from. He can't have kids because of his wife.
But don't let his burden be your burden.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, before I met Suzanne and I, we were in the same situation where, we can have children. We knew that, but she has been able to raise kids.
I can't even.
Herself, but these were other people's kids; they weren't hers. And when we both came into our relationship, we knew, that we loved. Okay, Jay, he'll be right back. But yeah, at the time, Suzanne and I knew one thing that we shared was cats, and we love cats. And we, ever since we've been together,
how many cats do y'all have?
They're our kids. Well, they're our kids. So that's, if we can't have human children, we can at least have cats.
That's the worst thing for me. I'm not even capable of properly taking care of an animal.
Why do they say that, Matthew? I'm just curious. Why do they say that?
Because I get easily overwhelmed by anything.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense then. All right. Well,
that's the other reason that the state.
No, I just said that makes sense. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just saying that makes total sense, though, that if they feel, but I mean, but you've got to feel that too, Matt. You got to feel that yourself. If you feel uncomfortable with even taking care of one pet, then that's something you got to feel yourself. Yeah, nobody should be able to force.
I don't feel uncomfortable taking care of a pet.
Yeah,
but the state doesn't want me to. They don't think I have the mental capacity.
I have issues with a state or a government or a province or anything that says you can't do this or you can't do that because of your situation. I think it's bullshit. Okay, I think personally, if you know you Matt, let me finish. Hold on, Matt. Let me finish. Personally, if you know your limits and your limitations, you know what you need to do for yourself, then do it. But don't expect anybody else to boss you around and say, well, you can't do this because you're this condition or whatever you're going through. You got to be able to know that you can take care of yourself. And I'm sure you can, Matt. I'm pretty positive that you can.
I have trouble taking care of myself, too.
Yeah. Well, that happens with a lot of people. But they find a drive. They find a way to do it. I mean, I got my own problems. I got type 2 diabetes. I have trouble walking. I use a walker. My mom's thinks it's crazy that at my age, I'm almost 60, but I'm using a walker to get around. For and
Um,
initially, it was used. It's used as a rehabilitation device, right? To be able to walk around and stuff.
right.
Well, I can't. Okay, Suzanne and I both know this. We can't stand for too long without collapsing, despite our, how old we are and whatever. But we also can't just walk, without the walker for say a certain amount of feet or path before we collapse too. So, that's why we use them. And my parents are still making us, for both of us, are still making us feel badly because we're still using them. And I'm like, but mom, that's what I use. It's something
Uh,
I'm going to be with the rest of my life. I'm going to be stuck with using a walker until I can,
I've been
Wait,
using a
strength
cane.
enough.
wait. Hold on. Let me get this right. Your mom is getting
Oh
after
yeah,
you
go
because you
for
got
it.
to use a walking aid.
Yeah, I use a walker. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Another
I'm sorry, but
another
that's
thing,
and
Mike,
and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
is
Go ahead.
I am schizophrenic, and they're afraid that because of the schizophrenia, I get easily overwhelmed by even the smallest of little things.
I've worked with schizophrenic
I'm
people
very,
when I worked in group homes. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I should technically be in a group home, but because of the fact that I had my identity stolen, the
Oh
group
yeah.
homes in my state cannot legally work with me.
no, they can't. They probably wouldn't up here either. Not till your court cases are resolved.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I can see the reasoning then. If you have that situation. Yeah.
Yeah,
And to be
and
honest, if I want
Matthew,
to
yeah,
get
Matthew's been
married and
dealing with
have
this
a
for a
kid,
while.
I'm afraid I would pass my autism, my schizophrenia, and bipolar all
Matthew,
to my kid.
I understand your concern, but you can't let that hold you back if it's something you want to do, which right now, from just talking to you over the years, I already know that's not something that you want to do. You don't want to have kids right now. You're not in a place where you're comfortable or financially able to really have kids of your own, right? So,
Right.
but
The
you should
worst
not.
thing,
But now,
well,
listen, Matthew. I want to tell you this: when you do get on your feet, okay, when you do get on your feet and you get a place to live and you're stable, if you want to have a kid, that's up to you, nobody else. And don't ever think that whatever you're going through is going to affect that kid, right? Because there's a good chance it won't.
Yeah. Don't place a limitation
there's
on.
a lot of things hereditarily that I can pass down because I am of royal blood.
Yeah.
Like
So am
what?
I.
The only thing that royal blood passes down is inbreeding, okay?
Yeah.
So
No, it
You
passes
sure
down
they pull
other
that off
things
in the
like
Barnard?
hemophilia.
I'm
I
just
know
saying,
some of
I'm
my
just
Bush
saying.
ancestors did that shit, but come on.
No, I mean, if
Yeah.
you look at
And
the royals
allergies
going
to
back
certain
to,
foods.
Yeah.
well, you can't hold allergies over your future kid's head, but
Right.
Hey, Matt, is your last name pronounced Kirsnick?
Kersnick,
Kirsnick.
Cursnick. Yeah.
Kirsnick. Okay. Yeah. Our Mikey Sus 4, those first four letters are part of our last name, which is Fournier. So
Oh,
yes.
that's a pretty name.
You know, I always
yeah, it
wondered
is.
about that, Mikey. I know you're from Arizona, Mikey, but
Well, no,
why?
originally from
That
California.
sounds like
Oh,
an
Then I lived in
Italian
Arizona
name
for about
too.
okay, California originally, but you got a French last name. How does that happen?
Yeah, French last name. Well, basically that comes from my dad's dad. Dad's dad's dad, actually, three generations. Uh he moved to Northern California, originally from France, and
Oh,
then
okay,
and
okay.
then
So
yeah,
your
and
your
so my
grand your
dad's
grandpa
dad,
your grandpa's
right?
from France. Okay.
Grandpa was from France. Ernest, who was my dad's dad, who's passed on now, rest in peace, also uh, was into business, and that's what his dad did was business.
Oh, what?
So
So
he
was he
worked in
going
banking
into?
and all this stuff over
Yeah,
in,
was he
in
in the vineyards up there in Northern California? Or
yeah, and he worked in some vineyards too. Yeah, he
nice,
did.
nice.
Asti, yeah, actually, there's a place there. We went to it a few times called Asti. It's spelled ASTI. It's a very famous vineyard which has been owned previously by one or two Fourniers, and it's very cool. And I mean, it's a great one. I mean, it's got train tracks that go through there. They process all of the wine, the winery, and everything there, and all the different wines, French
They
wines,
don't use their feet no
and
more,
then
do
they
they?
pass them out. Yeah, and then they transport them all over the rest
Yeah,
of the
they do.
place. Yeah, it's very cool.
I was making
Well,
it. I was
my
making it funny. I'm sorry.
oh no, that's okay. Uh, I do know this from my father's history, um, and I mentioned it once before. I don't understand how one of my relatives became a pope, but he
What?
did.
Do you
Yeah,
have a
Jacques
pope? Do
Fournier.
you have a relative
Yeah,
that's a pope? What?
the Pope, yes, yeah, yeah. The French, the Fourniers are in three main things. They've been in the military, they've been in the laity, which is the religious order, and they've also been in agriculture, vineyards and stuff.
Right, right.
So, yeah, they and Jacques, spelled
Yeah,
Jacques,
yeah, Jacques.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Jacques Fournier. He was known as Benedict XII, and during the period of time called the Great Schism, which occurred between the
I've
12th and
heard.
13th centuries.
I've
Yeah,
heard
I've
of
heard of
that.
it. Yes.
No,
So
actually,
Benedict,
as part of catechism, we had to learn about that. So
yeah, oh, of course. Well, I learned it because I found this Pope book, and I traced it all the way back to my relatives. So he was actually exiled during that time. There was what they called an anti-pope, which was living in Vatican
yes,
in
there
Italy
was.
at the time.
Yes,
Richard
yes,
the
because
First.
that's when Rome split between East and West, right?
Correct. And so he was in Richard the First, they called him. I'm not sure what his full name was. I could always look it up. But, he was there in Vatican City while my relative, Jacques, was down there in Avignon, France.
In the
And,
east part of Rome. Yes.
and yes, and they considered him the true pope. And one of the main things that he fought for was against nepotism. He fought against that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
he was criticized for that because some of his teachings actually came from what they called the French Reformation Church, and at that time, the Roman Catholic Church hated the French Reformation.
Right, because little
Churchgoers.
did they know they'd have their own Protestant revolution going on.
Exactly, exactly. So you see, but like I said, it's nice to know that there was a few Fourniers that were a part of the religious order.
I
They
didn't
were
know
in the
I
Franciscans.
had
Yeah,
no
they were in the
idea
Franciscans.
your name went back that far, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, it goes back very
I mean,
far.
I know I've heard it, from here and there in the next place, and that's kind of why I asked him, like, you know what, I've seen your last name throughout different parts of history, and
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
so,
Well, we had Fourniers. This is interesting. We had Fourniers that fought on both sides of the North and South in the Great American Civil War. We had Fourniers that were on the front lines of Ypres, France during World War One when they were going up against the
now
Germans
I'm
in the
guessing
trenches.
I'm guessing pre-Civil War they were probably located down where
I
Louisiana is, because that's
yeah.
French, mainly French down there, right? French
Oh
dominate.
well, there's a lot of Fourniers just alone in Quebec. In Quebec
Well, yeah,
City,
and Quebec, yeah,
uh,
because of France, yeah.
because of France, and during the French and Indian War, there was actually one or two Fourniers, I believe, that associated with the Iroquois
The
Indians.
Iroquois,
Back then.
yes.
The Iroquois, right? And one of them actually did was involved with an Iroquois woman, and so 1/3 of my ancestry is Iroquois. I recently found that out, and I was like, "That's really cool."
I am actually 1/8 Cree Indian.
1/8 Cree. That's nice.
Yes. Which actually is basically for any other tribe would be the same as 1/4, but since our tribe is so small,
Right.
and now here's the thing: our tribe was basically absorbed by the Saginaw Indian Chippewa tribe,
Yeah.
but because of their laws, I don't qualify, even though technically, according to my bloodline, 1/8 is equivalent to 1/4. They don't recognize it because you got to be 1/4 for them. So
That doesn't make sense to me though.
no, it don't. It don't. It really don't.
Because I was married
And I have
at one
document,
time. Yeah.
and I have all the documentation to prove that I'm 1/8 Cree, and
Sure.
that my tribe was absorbed by theirs and everything else. But no, I'm just stupid white man. Go away to them. So
Well, technically, if I can actually find again the information I found to find out I was a quarter Iroquois, I could actually use that as a representation and saying, yeah, technically my family comes from First Nation as well, because the Iroquois and association, all of that. So sure, I mean I could,
now
but
here's
I'd have to find the documents and all
here's
that.
the other problem in my bloodline, right? Because I'm also English, Irish, Dutch, German.
Yeah.
Plus, I got Native American. God knows what else in me. So
Yeah.
I call myself a mutt. You know why? Because I'm American.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And I
Right.
was born initially in America, so I'm still considered an American, but I'm a transplant of maple syrup.
You know,
According to
I call myself a mutt. So if I
a
hear
mud.
people say, yeah, because I'm a Heinz 57, right?
Well, there you
So,
go.
yeah. So if people tell me to go back where I came from, I'm like, okay, the arm can go here, this arm can go there. Yeah,
Yeah.
how you doing?
Yeah, how you do? Yeah. Well, Suzanne, she comes, she was born in Newfoundland and her father was Scottish, but her mother was French. And we just figured it out. That her mother and Suzanne have a sixth sense. Well, if you're French and you have a sixth sense, you're either considered a witch or you're considered a gypsy. And I'm thinking that her birth mother, must have been at least a French gypsy, or at least
Yes.
from that kind of family that has that sixth sense.
Yes. I kind of, I've only heard her talk a few times, but the way she speaks,
Yeah.
when she does, it's like, okay. She only speaks when she's got something to say, and only gypsies do that.
Yeah.
Well, not just gypsies, but
but I know you're talking about Nikki, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Well, my Nikki is more German than anything. She's definitely Pennsylvania Dutch because she's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, that works. Yeah.
And I have Pennsylvania Dutch in my family for sure.
Yeah.
Because my great grandma's last name was Hager.
Hager. Okay.
Yep. Hagar. And
family name.
My last name, well, I'll tell you in private. Well, you know what my last name is, you're on
I know your last name, and I don't want to reveal it because
and it's very German. So
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, there's
Mine
with Suzanne, there is a
is
spell that their last name is Dick, but it's spelled D-Y-C-K.
Dick.
And then, yeah, Dick. Yeah.
my family's original surname, at least from my grandfather's side.
Yeah.
Or great grandfather's side is Romanov.
Romanov.
Wow. What are you?
That goes Russian. Wow.
Russian aristocracy.
Yes.
Hey, you know what?
Great grandfather on my grandfather's side was Nicholas II's own brother, who was the original heir to the throne before his father basically exiled him because he refused to take the throne because he saw the empire was falling already
Yeah,
back
and he
in
did,
the
and he didn't.
1840s and 1850s
Oh,
after the
I thought you were
Russians
talking like
lost the
1912.
Crimean War.
Well,
Right.
the Bolshevik Revolution was
The
1912.
Bolsheviks, yeah, in 1917. That was
Or
nuts.
1917. Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what
And
happened to
at the
Romanovs
time,
when that
my
happened?
great grandfather was actually married to a Duchess of Norway.
Jesus, so how come you're over here and not over in Russia being waited on hand and foot? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because the family took a political asylum once.
Ah. Now that makes sense if you had to go through
Because the political asylum agreement says we cannot officially recognize our true heritage. If we do, we lose our citizenship. No matter where you are in the U.S., you automatically will become Russian again.
Especially with Putin in power, because you know he's ex-KGB, right?
Yeah, we knew that.
And I don't want.
They're not
If I have
called
to deal with
KGB
Putin,
anymore. They're known
I'd rather
as
shoot myself in the foot than deal with Vlad.
Oh, by the way, you know why I find that funny? Because every time I rewatch A Hunt for Red October, guess what the name of the political officer is?
What?
Putin.
Book?
No, The Hunt for Red October, right? That movie with Sean Connery?
Yes.
Yeah. The name of the political officer that's only in one scene in the entire movie.
Yeah.
His name is Putin.
Putin. Yeah, oh yeah, Putin. Yeah, right. Well, isn't that the one that also has Tim Curry as an officer?
Yes, Tim Curry is the medical officer, yes.
Yeah, and Sam Neill. Oh,
and Sam Neill, yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, and that was the first time we were introduced
and
to
Alec Baldwin in
Alec
his first
Baldwin
major
as
role.
On top of that, my great grandmother
Yes.
on my grandfather's side
Yes.
was technically banished for something even I don't understand from the Norwegian royal family.
And you got Norwegian in you too.
Right.
Yeah, I have Norwegian and Russian.
So you're a Heinz 57 too.
From my grandfather's side, from my mother's side, Greek royalty.
So you're a Heinz 57, just like us Americans.
There you go.
Well, you are an American. You were born here, so
right.
You're a true Heinz. You're a Heinz 57, Matthew. You're a mutt, just like the rest of us.
Right. Now, something else I found out. If you guys are curious, I found out also that at least one of them that I know of, maybe two.
You know how I found all that out? I actually, back when I was a teenager, I accidentally hacked into the State Department records department.
Hey, we're live. Don't be saying that shit.
Yeah, don't be saying that out here because people come after you.
Legal disclaimer: I have no control over what these motherfuckers do. Okay, no.
YouTube overlords. We did not just say that somebody went into a system. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't say that. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's taboo, dude. Please don't do that. Yeah. Please
okay, sorry.
Hey, you didn't know. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's a huge issue. You know, hackers are. They really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just one other bit of information about my family history. Back when they had at the end of World War I, they had that the Treaty of Versailles, which was written on the railroad car, right, between Germany and England and France,
and also, the U.S.
And the U.S. Yeah, I was going to add them in. And one of my Fournier relatives, actually, I think he either was the train conductor of the actual train that they signed the agreement, or he was the porter of the train.
Okay, the
I
porters.
know he was one of
Yep.
two that
Por-
worked on the day that they did that.
Porters handled the baggage. Yes.
Yeah, so so there was a Fournier present at the Treaty of Versailles, according to some of my research. There were a few that after France got taken by Mustache Man in World War II, stayed behind to fight in the French Resistance, because there was a few of them that wanted to liberate Paris.
Yes,
And
they did.
and what they
Here's
did
a
secretly
question:
was
why is everyone afraid of saying the name? And they
Stalin.
call it
Why?
crazy
Why? They're
mustache man.
it's a
absolutely
disclaimers.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with saying Stalin on YouTube. That's not a bad word on YouTube.
No, Stalin is not, but the word that starts with an H.
Oh, Uncle Adolf. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Adolf. Mustache Man, we call him. But yeah,
Oh well, you said mustache. I thought of Stalin. Stalin had a way
I
better
just call him
mustache.
Mustache Man because he had that singular little stove.
He didn't have a mustache. He had a what the fuck is that?
It was like a stovepipe mustache. Like it.
It wasn't
Really
even
weird.
so. It was like, oh my
It
god,
was
it's really
so
that
small.
little.
Not, if
It's
you
so
watch
small. That's what she said.
it,
Little
that's what she said.
mustache man.
That's what Ava said. It's so small.
German mustache man.
You,
Well, that's probably what Ava.
he had a
said.
Frankfurter on his lip.
That's what Ava said.
How you doing?
How you doing? Yeah, but I mean, when the Americans and the rest and the Canadians and so forth and the English, after they had D-Day, it was actually it was two. It was two of my relatives that helped them to take Caen, France first. That was CAEN.
Yes, CAAN,
Caen,
Con France. Yes.
and Caen, France. Yeah, after the D-Day invasion. And
Actually, I think it's pronounced.
proud of
Was it Con or is it pronounced Kane? Because
it's either way. I pronounce it Con, but I think it's
and actually I misspelled it. It's CAEN.
CAEN. That's what I said. CAEN.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So there was Kane, and then there was San Lo, which is just
San Lo, and then beyond that
Right.
was San Lo Marie.
San Lo Marie, right? So those two locations I know had my relatives as part of the French Resistance helping those other countries.
Well, yeah,
soldiers to
that's from the home.
overrun them. So,
That's from the homeland, the home country.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, I mean, there's been
and then after San Lo Marie was son of a bitch, it was just right on the tip of my tongue. Saint Mary Glee, I believe, was after that.
Yeah, Saint Marie Église. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And then so, because I follow World War II with this type of stuff.
We, one of the things I'm ashamed of or glad of in the early years when Germany had taken over the country, we disrupted the railroad lines. That was what we were.
Oh yes. About. Oh, you're the French's guerrilla tactics and
the resistance fighting.
The resistance was on par, dude. On par. They were like, "Fuck this shit." Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. No, they took out supply trains and all sorts of shit from the Germans, and I'm proud of that.
You watch. And that's one thing I got to bring to light here, because you watch all these movies. Like there was one back in the day called Red Tails. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It was the first black fighter squadron in U.S. history in the United States Army Air Corps, which would later become the Air Force. But they were taking out Nazi trains.
Was that
the Tuskegee Airmen? Yes. There was actually two movies. The Tuskegee Airmen was one movie, and the Red Tails was the other movie.
Red Tails. I've seen Red Tails. Yes.
Yep. And but Tuskegee Airmen is actually another movie. Go look that up.
There's two of them.
It's where they were in boot camp learning how to fly and all that.
Right. Yeah.
But what those movies do not showcase is what the French resistance was doing to make their kills possible when they got those kills.
That's true.
Right? Which is integral. If you look at the overall picture, right, they make it seem like, oh, hey, I just saw this. Let's go get it. No, motherfucker, you had to have some intelligence because why the fuck would you go out
Well, what they did,
out of bounds from where you're
Yeah.
supposed to be going
right?
on little to no fuel and just go and try to blow up a fucking train? No, you ain't
And
gonna
blow
do that
something
without
up.
orders. No, you ain't gonna do it. No, not
Yeah,
without
no.
getting bounced out on your head as a fucking African American back in 1944, dude. No, you ain't doing
Yeah,
it.
no,
So-
exactly. But you know what's great is that when it came to both French targets, because we had to, first of all, bomb the Germans out of there so they would leave. But down the line, some of those French resistance fighters were able. This is like an early form of GPS, right? So they were able to, like from the ground, they were able to signal to the planes that the bombers that were going to be dropping bombs.
Night, guys.
Hey,
you
welcome
go-
in.
Okay, good night, Matthew. Take care, buddy.
Hey, good night, Matthew. Good to talk to you, buddy. You have a good one.
Absolutely. You take care of yourself, bud.
Yeah, please. Yeah. So
Yeah,
said-
Matthew's a great guy. He has done so much for me and for this channel. I can't even thank him enough.
yeah,
He
he sounds
really
like a very well learned man, and I'm proud to say I'm glad to
he
know that.
is, and I'm proud to call him my friend. So thank you, Matthew.
Very
Thank
cool.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Is there anything he wants to promote before he
Yeah,
goes? Or-
well, he doesn't really do much online. He just comes up on panel right now because of his
Oh,
situation.
cool.
So
Oh yeah, like our friend Daniel does, our brother. Yeah,
right,
Daniel,
right.
you haven't said anything for a while. You okay? Daniel? Hope you haven't fell asleep again.
Daniel, 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 Daniel-san,
Daniel-san!
Daniel-san.
Coco, attack him. Get him.
Yeah, sorry about that. What
Say
was it?
something.
Go, gadget. Oh,
I
there's
was thinking Coco could jump on your face or something. Wait,
There's a new one, Matthew, or not Matthew, but Mikey hasn't heard before. Go, gadget.
Go get it. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
that's
Yeah.
when I sick one of my good ladies on somebody. Go, gadget. Go get him.
Go get it. Yeah, I remember when Matthew Broderick did that. Oh God. Why was he
Well, that was an okay movie.
why was he Inspector Gadget? You know what? Back then,
Yeah,
I
he
said,
says gadget. I say gidget. You know why? Because I like
Gidget,
females.
gidget,
I like
right.
females better. Yeah.
Sure, of course.
Go, gadget, gidget. You hear that,
Go
Suzanne?
get
You
Gadget,
hear that, Susie?
Yeah.
Tell Mikey he needs to like females better. Go, gadget, gidget.
Go get Gadget. That makes sense.
Why
Yeah.
Why it's not here?
Remembered as a friendly guy with a big personality.
You know, you can sit on the bench and talk at him, and he would honk.
A friendly guy has a big personality.
Is that Nikki?
I don't know. I'm hearing that on your end, I guess.
Oh, I'm hearing somebody else talking with you, but
This club
No, I
with its swan
don't know. I hear somebody talking too. I don't know where the hell it's coming from.
Hamlet now
I
joins
got my
the-
headphones on, so
those who have since
Oh, okay.
passed.
Is that on your end, Daniel?
Being felt heavily.
we'll find out.
I'll find another.
Now this island behind
Yeah, I think that was Daniel.
Oh, okay. That was all right. Daniel was listening to something. Okay.
Yep. Okay,
Hey,
I
Daniel.
thought that was coming from you for a minute, Mikey. It sounded like
Yeah.
you're Susie.
Yeah. No. Suzanne is she's already she's still working with
What were you listening
Friends.
to, Daniel? Because we heard that. We're like, what?
It says right here, like it says right here, devastating loss. Community mourns the death of Ontario's oldest Trumpster swan. Like, it was a
Oldest
swan.
How the hell can a swan like Trump? It's a
I
fucking
don't know. That's what it
bird.
said.
It's a bird.
Trumpet swan. It's a bird, not a representative of Trump.
Oh,
Yeah, some idiot.
You mean those swans that sound like?
Yeah, the ones
Yeah.
that like they
Yeah.
true. Yeah, they sound like a cornet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some idiot ran over the swan, and like it was really devastating for the community.
Oh God,
Oh,
that's
did
terrible.
it die with the B flat?
I don't know.
Yes. Rah, rah. How you doing?
Well, this guy, whoever he is, whoever did it, must be
Oh,
in big
man.
trouble now. If they caught him.
No shit. No shit. That's just like hitting a turkey in the state of Michigan.
Yeah. Did you guys hear earlier yesterday about that dad that jumped in the Atlantic Ocean to save his daughter after she somehow got past a plasticine barrier on the fourth floor
What
of
the
the
fuck is
Disney cruise
plastic?
ship?
Okay, first of all, what the fuck is plasticine? That just sounds
It's
like
supposed to
some
be well,
janky
it's
bullshit.
tempered. Well, it's a form of tempered. It's like tempered glass, but it's more like tempered plastic.
Oh,
It's
so it's
supposed to be
super slippery then. Okay.
what is it, baby? Yeah, plexiglass. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
Plexiglass.
plexiglass. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. We got that at the
Anyway,
hardware store. Okay, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so one of the Disney cruise ships, this kid. Okay, first of all, I really am questioning the parents. How did you let your daughter get away by herself on a fourth floor of a big huge cruise ass ship, and then she's able to climb the damn thing and fall into the water?
Oh,
And
okay.
luckily, if her dad didn't know, but the dad did save her and everything. And of course, Disney cruise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
my question. Even though she got past the kids, where the fuck was everybody else and the ship staff?
Exactly. That's what I was questioning. She was all by
Really?
herself. Yeah.
Really? You see a little kid fucking beelining for the fucking thing and you don't do nothing?
Yeah.
My first reaction is put my arm out, scoop that motherfucker up, be like, "Where's your mom and dad?"
Exactly. And I get it. I mean, I get it. The dad realized, almost too late, but he did. They're fine now. They're safe. And I realized he had to dive himself to go in to save her because
Oh my
I don't
fuck!
know where
Really?
mom was. But,
Like dive in where? On a shipboard pool
yeah,
or over the
on
side?
a cruise ship. But yeah, that's where I question. Where did he dive in from?
Yeah,
I
was he
mean,
diving
on
to a
the cruise
shipboard
ship
pool or
somewhere,
was
but
he diving over the side? What the fuck?
yeah, I wish I knew more details on it. I know that they're safe. I know he saved her. I know
mean,
that the Disney crew on the ship has this special code where it says "man overboard," and as soon as that goes
yeah,
off,
it's not a U.S. Navy ship where to say "man overboard, man battle
yeah,
station, stand,
no, they have a different
Yeah,
time
they don't do that. They code black. It's like you're in Walmart or some shit.
or some kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So they have their own kind of code, and yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm glad that the dad and the daughter are okay, but it should have never led to that.
Like,
That's
how
what
do
I'm
you
saying.
have that many thousands of people or hundreds of people on deck that don't
Yeah.
see a kid nose diving for water?
Yeah. And how in the hell did she get in? Like I said, how in the hell did she get in there
Fuck,
in the
did you get
first
away
place?
in the first place? Exactly.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this world is fucked, dude.
You
It is
know,
nuts.
they have a saying: it takes a village to raise an idiot.
Ah, I never heard that before.
Well, that's just my saying. It takes a village to raise a child.
Okay.
It takes
Yeah.
a village to maintain an idiot.
Yeah. It
But
takes some
apparently,
kind of-
we got more villages than idiots because look at how many fucking idiots are in the world right now.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just. I think a majority of them are just uneducated, or they just choose to
No,
be.
it doesn't even have to do with education. I tell my boy this all the time. I tell my son this all the time. I'm like, son, you are super smart. You're super book smart. But you're fucking stupid. You need common sense, boy.
Right.
And I know it hurts his feelings, but you know what? He's 13 years old. I got to start telling him the shit. I'm like, you got
to. Yeah, you got to educate him on life experience, right, Jay?
Exactly.
Otherwise,
and I tell him that too.
years,
I think life is not hunky dory like school's fucking teaching you. You get out there in the real world, it's gonna slap you upside the head so hard you ain't gonna know what the fuck hit you.
Yeah, you may not even recover from that slap upside.
No, you might not. No. So,
Oh my god.
and that's the
Oh,
difference. That's the difference between me being a almost 50-year-old daddy and some of these 30-year-old dads that are out there.
yeah.
Because I want my son to know, hey, you can be as smart as all you want learning from them books. It don't mean jack shit when you get out there in the real world.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you got to be smart,
yeah.
but you got to be fucking smart at the same. You got to be a different kind of smart, and
Well, you have to.
they ain't
Yeah,
teaching that shit in school no more.
no, they haven't, and that's the problem. See, they need to educate you on two things. First of all, there is a difference between book smarts and obviously real life experience, and what
And
they
I don't,
need to do.
right, and I hesitate to use the word street smart with them because there's a difference between that too.
Yeah, there is. There is.
You know,
And
I am street smart and I am book smart, but you know what? I'm also life smart.
yeah. Well, you
And,
know, and that's what I'm proud about when it comes to my brother who's still teaching, and to an extent his wife Janet, who also teaches, Phil and Janet, is that they are teaching them about real life world experience, as you know, and associating that with the book smarts, with the books that you read, uh, you know, or in this case, it's audiobooks, I guess now.
oh yeah, Mikey,
People
did you know they did away with teaching cursive?
they did. Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, how the fuck are you supposed to sign your name on legal documents?
Yeah, how are you supposed to do that if they eliminate them?
How are you supposed to sign a contract? How are you supposed to sign something at the courthouse? How are you supposed to sign anything? Are you going to go put your name in black letters or a big old X? What the fuck?
I made it easy. Actually, the last few documents I've signed that I can actually sign, I made it very easy for them. I put my 3 initials and the last one, which is obviously the letter F. I circle it around my, and it's very unique. I mean, it is a unique enough that if somebody saw it, they know it's me.
Oh,
that
that's just
nobody
like
else can
me.
copy
Yeah,
it.
that's like me. If I put my first and last initial, JL, especially the way I fucking sign in cursive, trust me, I can do my signature like 100 different ways because I had penmanship in grade school before I got to middle school. Okay, trust me, I learned how to write in cursive every fucking way there is.
Yeah, you and I and hopefully Daniel had some decent education back then, back in our days. You know, I hope
I
we
was
were
learning how to
on.
read in kindergarten. Guess what year they learn how to read now?
When?
Fucking second grade if they're lucky. Now,
Oh,
my
yeah.
son learned how to read before he went to kindergarten.
Yeah. Well, I learned how to read after I actually, yeah, I learned how to read just after I finished preschool.
I went to kindergarten in 1980. Guess what we did my kindergarten year?
What'd you do?
Pug the play. And guess what we had to do to be in it?
You had to learn how to read.
Learn how to read Pug. How you doing?
That's a cool story. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, how you do it. Yeah, sure.
That was in 1980 in kindergarten. Now you go look at these motherfuckers now. What the fuck are they doing in school in kindergarten? Do I eat the paint?
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely an intelligence gap. there is. It is extremely sad. I honestly wish that some people go back to
Matthew says they still taught it in 97 in Virginia. Well, they did in Michigan too, bud. But here's the thing. It's a long time. That's almost 20 years ago.
It is. It's still what?
That's 18 years ago.
No. Wait a sec.
97, 07, 17. Holy fuck.
28
that's
years ago.
Years ago. Oh, okay. Yeah. 28 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, that's almost 30 years. Jesus.
07,
not learning
17.
cursive until, oh, man.
Yeah, that's almost 30 years ago, but that's 28 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, because I graduated in 94. Graduated. See how I did there? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Graduated.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get going because I do have my stream later on today, and I gotta get some rest.
Yeah, you got to stream in about 12 hours, don't you? But
Yeah, 12 hours. Yeah, but hopefully you guys can come by, offer your respects and prayers, and
I will.
hopefully
Hey,
Larry can get through it.
if I'm awake, I'll be there. But
Okay,
so
fantastic.
3:30
Daniel,
Eastern time on the Mikey Sue's channel.
Yeah, 3:30 p.m. It's all set up. Just have to. It's when we start it, and PvP will be there. And like I said, we'll be celebrating Larry. We'll be celebrating my friend Scott, who's his dad. I found out Anchorman is also in the hospital, and we'll be celebrating Canada Day. So for the Canadians and
Happy. Hey, you know what? It's 15 minutes from officially being Canada Day in all of Canada. So
yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. We're very close.
happy
to that.
Canada Day, Canada. How you doing?
How you doing? Matthew also said they still, yeah, yeah, they still taught cursive in high schools in Virginia until 2010.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a recent thing, but I still find it fucking distasteful that they're stopping it. So.
Yeah, but it's just that it's a bygone era, right? Cursive writing. Yeah.
Yeah,
We should all get back
I
to
mean,
it.
the fact that I'm forced to sit here and teach my 13-year-old son on summer break how to write cursive.
Yeah.
The fuck is that shit?
Yeah, I know. What does that say about the education system in general? When it's left up to you to educate them. And
Everything is not e-signed by e-document, right? Like they would like them to think. No.
No, it's not that way all the time. No. But you know what? I would question if you're signing on a pad of some kind, any computer pad.
Dude, even with those little fake plastic pencils, your shit doesn't even look like your own shit.
Right, it doesn't even look like it's you. And
no, it don't. Because I've done it with the plastic pencils. I do it with my finger every fucking 3 days at the drugstore. It don't look like my signature.
Yeah, I know. And don't forget that they could steal your identity too that way.
Exactly.
Possibility.
Exactly. So, cameras everywhere. Your face. Oh, you sign it like this. Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That's why I'm glad I know cursive.
Yeah, me too.
And have penmanship. Thank you. Yeah, I'll find my
penmanship skills. I hope you have those penmanship skills too, Daniel. I hope you use them every once in a while. Or
well, he's old enough. He should have.
Oh, you should. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, thank you again. I'm always honored and blessed, Jay. That
thank you, Mikey. I will definitely be on your stream tomorrow. Hopefully, I should be up in time. It just depends on her. So
yeah, just stop on by. We're gonna be there for a little while. I don't know how much time frame, but I know that Gorilla wants to do his cigar lounge right around after he gets home because I think he's working. Yeah, but when he gets home, he wants to do a cigar lounge. So when I find out what time he's going to do a cigar lounge, then I can end my stream and I can go to his cigar lounge and we'll be talking about Larry and everything else going on there as well. So there should be at least 2 streams tomorrow. Well, later on today, should say since I am on to Tuesday. Going on. So we'll see what happens.
Right on.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Take care, guys. See you soon.
Take care, Mikey.
Thank you.
With that, guys, I'm going to end this stream because we've been going over 3 hours. So we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.